So he's gonna go silent.
This is the funniest thing we've ever done.
I really put a hurting on the restroom at the restaurant.
This is the best thing we've ever done.
Get me that URL.
Can I
Share.
Very rough.
Message. Sam.
Live from the fucking ER. It's live from the ER.
Hello and welcome to a very special Revival Motoring podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
This is going to be a.
Get me that URL.
This is going to be a special fundraiser for Tobias.
Message.
Go fund.
Sam. GoFundMe.
Live from the fucking ER. It's
Guy.
live from the ER.
Thanks to anybody here. We're just at the pre-party right now. To a very special Revival Motoring podcast. Why am I hearing me? Is that me? Probably me. This is going to be a. No, that's too loud. That's too loud for me to be me.
I just needed mine.
Hello, Tim Connors. Toby, can you say something? Are you okay?
Hey, Tim Connors. Thanks for joining us.
Honestly, pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
the picture quality on the Toby cam is insane, and I think that's
Look at that PBR can. Just look at the PBR. It's so good.
that's thanks to our second special guest, Sam Dobbins,
Oh, yeah, he's here too.
who lit Toby perfectly. Dude, it's so good. It's so good. The picture's so good. It looks like a disaster cam.
Well, technically, because
Oh my god, I could change pre-party to something hilarious.
what's donations for Toby?
Yeah, we're raising money for Revival here.
There's a disaster relief.
Disaster relief.
That's
Toilet disaster relief.
It's so good.
I don't know if he knows what he looks like, which makes it even better.
I can't stop looking at it. I usually pop out the chat. It's not happening today, boys. Chat is staying in.
We're taking donations today for a high-flow toilet here.
We need to pump it up and pump it out.
We tested it out, and
We should get a little closer to him.
No, just get
with that mic.
Are you getting closer to the mic? All right. Ladies and
Josh,
gentlemen,
honestly, how much do we have? If you can just get at the edge of that table. Yeah.
you'll see professional media man
Yeah.
Sam Dobbins flew to the East Coast to help Toby.
this guy's hair.
It's beautiful, dude.
All right? I'm jealous.
I like that Toby can't hear us, which is the best part. Can we run headphones all the way out there? What's that? We get a long headphone wire.
I think he can hear us.
It would be way funner to have him headphoned up. This is the most this is the most inside baseball pre-show we've ever had. I learned how to do picture-in-picture. Turns out there's a button on the board that says picture-in-picture. We're focusing on, it looks like Josh's elbow, and it's beautiful.
Spider webbed up. You got a spider web in the elbow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely do.
How's that? Much better?
It's getting there. His
Yeah.
noise gate's a little low.
It's going to be messed up because that mic.
Could we make him hold the microphone? Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. We do have the power flush joint here, but it seems we have
that
inadequate water flow.
Is that any better, Corey?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, that's much better.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that.
Aim it right at my mouth.
Yeah, much better.
All right, I'm ready for breakfast.
All right.
Breakfast time, boys.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm glad to see the casting couch.
Yeah. How many? You did ask about the casting couch, yeah.
And realistically, if we needed to, we could do Toby from the toilet.
Yeah. Big shots to Wheel Pros for that background.
Don't worry, it's more coming.
Oh, Toby.
We've been waiting for Sam to come out here forever.
Toby, let me hear you again.
How's that now?
Actually,
Yeah, it's
really
not too
nice.
bad.
It's not bad.
Just if you can, just really muster it from the abdomen when you speak.
Yeah. It's really.
The abdomen.
Yeah, take some of that pressure that's building inside you and
Yeah.
just
It is subsiding.
Put it to the front,
slightly.
not to the back.
Is it subsiding?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I stand up, it's worse for some reason.
Okay. If I can't do it.
Well, stay
I can't see him on the thing, and I know he's right there.
stay horizontal.
It was that damn Revival Brewery.
It was. It was. No affiliation.
No affiliation. No affiliation.
Whatsoever for everyone's sake.
And Toby, how are you feeling?
Yeah, let's get an
Much
update.
better than I was 15 minutes ago. I almost killed Josh and Corey in the car on the way here from Shawarma.
It's seriously like talking to our field correspondent.
I almost passed out in the car.
How is
driving. Corey
Chechnya?
kept offering, and I couldn't even muster a word.
The car was going in park if you had passed out.
Corey and I collectively made the decision that we were going to ruin your transmission.
Yes.
We're talking to Toby live from Donetsk. Toby, how's the conditions out there?
Yeah.
Conditions are great. It's nice and cold. It's much colder inside here than it is outside
It's beautiful.
at the HQ.
He's got a blanket on for those who can't.
A
really-
moving
A
blanket.
moving blanket.
No, that is a warming blanket.
Packing blanket.
Yeah. It's a shame we didn't have one of the foil ones. They wrap like the refugees in.
Space
Right,
blanket.
as if he just ran a marathon.
Doesn't help that I have nothing on under here
So,
because I sharded my shorts.
Only we could actually.
Harrison in the chat just noticed he's in a moving blanket. In the arms of an
You can submit
angel.
donations to the super chat if you do feel obliged. This is just turning into be.
Just to,
This is everything I
benefit.
wanted it to be.
This is the best.
I always thought my first time was
Yeah.
the best.
yeah, no, you were right. It's unbelievably hard to watch him on the screen.
Just wait until
Just
we
suffer
have to
it.
transfer to that toilet cam.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
He had a Chinese webcam on the toilet. It's been there for security.
Yeah.
That's how Revival actually makes its money.
We're gonna find out who's taking the toilet paper.
It's webcam videos.
We do, yeah. We're out of toilet paper.
We're at a TP?
Yeah, well,
The
we
guy
have.
just gave you that CVS gift card.
We were reimbursed. Well, not reimbursed. We're restocked thanks to Stairs.
Thank you. Oh, Italian
Oh
John.
man.
Yeah,
what a
Italian
shame it
John.
would be if we were currently out of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we were on Wednesday.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Wow, thank God we made that trip.
Yeah.
What-
Oh,
Well,
thank you very much for acquiring the TV.
yeah. You're welcome.
It's like a
Was it
Sharpie.
soft enough for you?
It was single ply.
For everybody,
Definitely commercial grade.
for everybody joining right now, our friend Toby's here, but he has gotten food sickness, so we've put him on the couch under a moving blanket, Pabst Blue Ribbon, and obviously a Rotiform wheels.
Not sponsored by Paps, thank you. If they do want to send us a case or two.
So we're just trying to nurse him together. It's also Friday.
Yep.
He's my ride home.
You're his ride home.
Somebody's riding something.
Yeah. Cleaning them out for later, right?
Poor guy.
You guys got baby wipes?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's got to be around here
He
somewhere.
might.
I think I've seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll fix him.
He might have blew right through him.
Might need a Clorox wipe.
Yeah. We definitely have those. I saw those in the other bathroom.
Bleach
Yeah.
that.
Oh my
Bleach
God!
that
Shucks.
ribbon.
Shucks. $2. $2.
Tim Connors with
from
$2
Tim Connors to get
Get
Toby.
Toby some new undies.
Thank you, Tim.
I don't know.
Toby, what are you doing every Wednesday from like 6:30 to 10:30?
I think I could hit this couch for you.
Just have Toby harassing people.
Just
from out there would just be the best thing
It's
that's ever happened.
perfect. It does sound like a producer in another room, which he is. Oh, that's
Also-
wonderful.
The screen cap they pulled for like the live.
Oh, Toby Bubble Guts there. It's going to be impossible to have a serious
That's
interview.
an actual
This
conversation.
is so good. I like the picture-in-picture is microscopic. That's my favorite feature so far.
Right. And the fact that we're using the best camera and lens combination for this small picture.
Yeah, exactly. We get 4K up in the top right corner of your screen.
And
But in
we-
720p.
Toby zoomed in 90x zoom from the office.
which, in defense of that camera, doesn't look too bad.
We also
really doesn't.
we also live streamed for what, almost 2 years with that camera.
Was that
Yeah,
that's,
just
that's
about.
the old rig.
That's the
That's the
OG.
old rig.
Yeah.
Love
the
that guy.
OG.
Trap Lord Suck Bang Bang.
Bang bang.
$2 refill refund for the
Relief.
brown relief fund for the brown racing stripe for Toby. Toby, got another donation. They're coming in hot.
You gentlemen, keep bringing it on.
Who
knew this was turned to be the most profitable
This
episode we
is
ever
just
had?
going to turn into a
12 cents.
a
Here we
12-hour
come.
live stream. Drew's just nursing Toby through this. Can we get Shook down here to follow him with the camera?
Into the restroom? Is that what GoPros are waterproof, right?
Switch into the control cam. Oh my God. Well, anyways, for those of you just joining us,
Yeah, we're here. It's Friday.
Toby's got the runs and he's on the couch. We're up in the corner.
He had the shivers as well.
Yep, but he's getting better.
Much better.
No, we're happy. I was really worried about you on that car ride. I'm not gonna lie to you, buddy.
I'm worried about him now.
He was practicing his Lamaze breathing
Yeah.
in the car, which I could tell. I'm like, all right, he's really sick because anybody who breathes like that right
What's
now.
that? No. It's fine. I fidget with things. There was like deep guttural breathing.
Yeah.
Coming from.
He was basically breathing to one, stay alive, and two, not throw up. That was
Instead of answering me.
Also to keep the rest of the car alive.
it. Just and we were politely being quiet.
You know, he was holding back pressure that you cannot imagine for your sake.
Yeah, I know.
If he had been in that car alone,
I can only imagine.
it would have been
And
fucking
the thing
mess.
was, like,
Back to the body
Weren't
shop.
there. If you boys weren't there, that perforated leather would have been a mess.
I
was-
this clogs.
I was politely just being quiet because, like, all right, my man's he's not feeling too
He's
good.
hurting.
But like, I can only take silence for so long. So I just see the building, and I'm just like, is that a hotel?
I'm like, no, it's not a fucking hotel.
A silent car.
It
with
was
Toby
Mare
is a weird
rooftop.
thing.
That looks like new masonry over there, isn't it?
I was at that level.
Look at the brickwork. Look at the brickwork.
I was so
What do you think
close.
that is? Mid-century? What is that? What is that?
I was so close to saying that's a nice facade.
Little ivy crawling up. I like that. That's very tasteful.
I can honestly say I've never been in a silent car with Toby.
Yeah.
no, that's why I was so uneasy.
Neither have I.
I've never been in a silent room with Toby.
Oh, I wish I could switch this picture in picture.
All right.
Oh, I could. Hold on. You guys keep it.
All right, we'll keep it rocking.
Actually,
I'm going to switch the wires.
I'm saying the other way we could switch it
is electronically.
is
Yeah.
if Toby face on the TV.
Where's that? Oh, actually, I know how we can do it.
All better.
Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Okay.
Wow, the heads are about the same size.
It's amazing. Sometimes the simplest fix is the best fix.
Is the best option, right?
Yeah.
Because now we don't have to fudge with it.
Until we forget about it. In which
Yeah.
case you're like, what the fuck
So
happened?
now all the viewers can
Fudge.
see everyone at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, it went black. Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, we're good.
We're
We're
just
on the
catching
delay.
up.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable. And plus, Toby looks great up there in the corner.
This man in the corner.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
So now we're here. You can see there's someone else here, but you definitely couldn't see that before. Friend Sam, we're going to get into
I
that.
don't know how we're going to come down from that.
He's how Toby's so well lit in more ways than one right now. I believe Sam slipped him something to take him out, and here he is. All Toby Bubbleguts there.
Wait, what's a Rufinethlin?
Rohypnol.
You got ripped off. I'll tell you that much right now. It's a bias.
Welcome, Samuel.
For those who haven't
you,
figured
Toby.
it out, our friend Sam Dobbins is here from the west of us of the coast. From Wheel Pros, Rotiform, many videos. You know him, you love him. Photos, long hair, beard, and all. And we have Toby hanging out.
Cheers.
It's just he's trying to get better.
And he is in studio. He's not remoting in. He's actually in
Yeah,
studio.
he
We
is
can. I can't see him, but the boys can.
adjacent.
He's about 35 feet. He's in
He's
my
in
eye
our
line.
secondary. He's in our
wanna go drop
press
Green
room.
room?
What's
Green
that?
room.
Yeah, might as well.
I'm waiting in the green room.
It's about to be the brown room.
Yeah. Toby's
Actually,
deep
can
in the
you
brown
see
room
it?
right now.
Yeah. There we go.
You gonna hit a button?
I'll hit this button.
All right.
We'll make it a real
Very
episode.
exciting guest here today, though. Samuel Dobbins. Sam, remember when I was calling you Sean Dobbins?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Josh Garcia, and this is the Revival Motoring Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Chuck Hu
Oh hey.
and Corey.si.
Hello, hello.
This is a special bonus episode of the podcast We're here live on a Friday, and whenever you're listening to this, we didn't record this on a Wednesday. In studio, we have our friend, Mr. Sam Dobbins. Sam, welcome.
Howdy. Hey, Corey, is that Hello, Hello, a Gary Delabate tribute?
I don't even know who that is.
Goddamn.
Gary from Howard Stern.
I'm not a Stern guy.
Hello.
Except for the fat fuck who cut me out of the Mach-E. What's his name?
High
Laughing
Pitch Eric.
Larry? Oh, High Pitch
High
Eric.
Pitch.
High Pitch Eric. Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We were at the New York
He's got a
Auto
Mach-E
Show.
now?
What's that? No, we were at the New York Auto Show, and
It was a great start.
we're checking out the Mach-E, and I'm like, oh my God, that guy sounds very familiar.
Who's High Pitch?
Yeah. Hey, I'm High Pitch. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. So I just looked at his badge, it said something different.
Of course it did.
So I'm like, all right. But I instantly just Googled High Pitch Eric, and I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah,
there's no
definitely him.
fucking way.
He
Definitely him.
He cut Corey off so hard to that
Oh yeah,
car.
and the best part.
Was he on like a rascal?
No, he was walking.
walking.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a walker now.
What a feat.
Walking with a whole film crew.
Too.
Of course he was.
Yeah, whole film crew. Which one thing, and we would have had absolute revival gold. Toyota was doing a game show, like a live game show, and they wanted guests from the audience. Had High Pitch Eric been 30 yards in front of where he was, he would have been guest
you're
numero
kidding me.
2. But
Josh was like getting the
I'm
camera
getting my
going.
camera ready because I can just see this happening. And he just got
Internet
there
gold.
and they picked somebody else. But he was so me. I'm like, oh my God, I
That'd be
wish it would have
unbelievable.
happened. It would have been amazing.
He was so let down because he thinks everybody knows him.
Oh, 100%.
I had no idea where I was, but he's like, "There's a High Pitch Eric." I don't know. The fucking guy just cut me out of getting in the Mach-E.
Also, you should
beat with
explain our ultra voice in the distance. That's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
on this recording.
He was the next one. Mr. Tobias Aldrich is in studio with us, but about
Adjacent.
35 feet away.
Thanks for the invitation, gentlemen.
Thank you for being here, Toby.
He's, dare I say, indisposed. The mic is a little away from him, so don't mind his audio for now. But he's currently on our casting couch, wrapped up in a moving blanket.
Yep.
For those just listening audibly, laying down across the whole thing because he's suffering from
Bubble guts.
the itis.
And he's
A GI problem.
Right. What was that again, Toby? What problem did you have?
Gastrointestinal issues.
acute.
Yes, yeah. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
But Sam
what did Mike
and
Tyson say? It's oh my God.
spinal.
It's spinal. After this
Spinal.
fight, I'm gonna slip
Spinal.
down to Bolivia. Slip into Bolivia.
Spinal. And Sam and Toby are good friends, and we figured it'd make for a fun little bonus episode for both of them to be here. So you'll hear from Toby, I'm sure, more as his ailment progresses. Either way, either
If
negatively
you're not
or
watching on the
positive.
internet, I mean, this might be one you should pull over and watch. Because him up in the corner is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
The first 10 minutes of the live stream was just,
It's still hard to look at.
I mean, literally people paid for it. It was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a normal episode. We're not going to do news, not going to do callbacks, anything like that.
Oh, I've got a callback.
Okay.
Let's do a
I do have
call.
a
no, no, no.
callback.
No rules for you.
Yeah,
bring
yeah,
it
Yeah,
to
hit the
you-
sound.
it's-
Hit the sound. He wants a callback. Give the man a callback.
like to leave a callback number.
I'd like to
Press
leave a
2.
callback number.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
The callback number is E63. And
E63.
Chuck, you were wrong because the first generation of that E63 wagon, which was the E55 body, I don't know the number, was rear-wheel drive, as was the first body of the new body style, and it wasn't until the E63S that it was all-wheel drive.
So you're telling me?
There's a chance.
You're telling me there's a chance. So I get a rear drive E63 non-S.
Correct.
I've driven the non-S. Wasn't for me.
You just got to go a little bit older, right? Is that what it's saying?
Yeah, a little bit older. The one that's got like
E55.
The long
Sick.
roof too. Yeah.
Yeah, the old
body
lady
is
looking
the
one.
same.
Yeah.
The later one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, the body's the same.
All right.
What else
I
are you
like
saying
this.
about the whole SEMA thing? Where who funds it?
Breakfast?
The OEMs fund it.
So the OEMs that are pulling out fund it.
Yes.
Okay.
If you look at just the floor plan by itself, the OEMs.
I've never been, so I
Dominate
have
it.
no.
Oh, yeah.
So,
No, they're,
I mean, like Ford's got to have several thousand square feet plus outside. So does Chevy. So does
but
Dodge. so
not
does Honda.
anymore,
Right.
which is the problem.
So, but if you think about that, considering that SEMA sells space by square foot, and it's not really a scale, or it's not really like a curve that they're selling it on. if all these giant footprints are pulling out, where's
Yeah.
the money going to come from?
It's not good. Right. No, it's not
Yeah.
good at all. It's the weird thing was I thought SEMA was in trouble, and we're going to get into a bunch of stuff with Sam, but I thought SEMA was in trouble when CES pulled out and like
Same.
canceled, but then CES came back.
After saying they would never return.
Never do it again. So
Yeah.
maybe
I mean, Las Vegas is a mafia.
that
Like,
I would-
there's no way around it.
chalk it up
Freeman,
to
the
Oh, yeah,
agency
yeah.
that
Oh,
runs
my-
the show and like charges you $450 to hang a TV that cost you $200 at Best Buy 45 minutes beforehand. It's a joke, but there's
That-
ways to work around it.
Right.
Unless you're an OEM that needs so much square footage that you rely on them because you literally can't skirt the rules because
of
you're
who you
so
are.
big that everybody's paying attention. Whereas at previous employers, one of the years we built a booth that was completely blocked in. So from the outside, you couldn't see inside the booth. So we were able to do all
That's
our
my
own
kind of
TVs, lighting, everything,
Yep.
kind of in a gray area.
Well, on the table stuff.
The
I like that.
the trade show logistics stuff is wild. Like,
It's more expensive than the trade show.
and I've gotten personally
companies.
have been harassed just from moving like carry stuff through certain parts of a facility.
I mean, I flipped a guy at 20 to vacuum our rug a second time.
Yeah.
And he almost got fired.
And
Because he
what-
took it.
and what shows this?
This was at a print show in Connecticut.
Okay.
And they vacuumed all the rugs, but they vacuumed all the rugs before everyone moved in. Well, when you move in, you're unpacking stuff. You make a mess.
Of course.
Guy was walking by with a vacuum, so I was like, dude, $20. You vacuum the thing. He took it. He vacuumed it. The swarm of people that came over and berated him for doing this, I was like, oh, my bad. Like, I didn't know. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't really have an idea. They didn't even care, but I did it. But
He accepted
I was
it.
like,
yeah.
he accepted it. And I was like, this guy might lose his job over $20. I feel bad. Not really.
Might
'Cause
lose
he-
his knuckles.
I'm sure he knew. But
Yeah,
our
wild.
carpet looks great. Yeah, carpet
You
looks
have the best carpet on site.
best carpet.
It was worth it.
I know you like it.
I can't like. I just sent my wife the link to the live thing, and the screenshot came up with Toby.
Oh, the thumbnail.
center? Oh
The
my
thumbnail.
God.
Corey brought it up earlier. The thumbnail.
Oh my
is
god, we
wonderful.
should print that and put it in this building.
We should change that to our thumbnail from
Tattoo
now
that
on.
my
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. So I don't want SEMA to go away. It's
I'd like to go once.
in
That's about enough times.
Yeah, like I like to go once.
Perfectly.
mix it in
Yeah.
right. Yeah, mix it in with some other stuff while you're there. But to go.
Yeah.
Even this year it continues to change because I've seen multiple floor layouts, and each time, seemingly unfortunately, a bigger name has dropped off, and I'm just like, holy shit. It's getting
Oh, and they sandbagged the fuck out of that too. Like,
Yeah.
even last year, there were companies that dropped out that other companies, like smaller companies, use as markers to be like, oh fuck, they dropped out. Like, maybe we should think about it.
Yeah.
yeah.
We knew that they had dropped out, and weeks passed before they actually took them off the map because they knew that they were hemorrhaging.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Exhibitors.
I got you.
Right, you can. I mean, as a small business, you can make that. For one,
Yeah.
as a small business, it's a large commitment, just
Completely.
monetary, like for numerous reasons. But right, if you start seeing these big names and other small to medium businesses dropping off,
You trust their
you
judgment.
very
Yeah.
quickly go, "Oh Jesus, this isn't worth it."
Yeah, they're way bigger. They've got bigger brains working on whether we should do this or not. And if they say no, then fuck.
Then this is
Clearly,
a
I'm
sign
not
of
as
the
smart as
industry.
They are don't know something that they know, and
In this this whole conversation gets into not only SEMA but the show we often frequent just because it's nice and close to us, New York International Auto Show, all the big brands dropping out of that. I find a lot of especially the big OEMs, they want to do their own thing. You can have more control. It's probably going to be cheaper. You can pick wherever the hell you want to do it. And it started with Porsche and the Taycan. That was the first one I went, oh, okay, this is what they're doing. Because they did it at like Niagara Falls and invited whoever they wanted there, built
Not
their
us.
own stage, not us, showcased whatever they wanted to, and it was all about them and didn't have to get overshadowed because Dodge came out with another big motor car.
Or the Muy Caliente
Kia
Stinger.
Stinger.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Very hot.
Yeah. Toby, how you doing over there?
Better by the moment.
can you hear me?
5 minutes, I'll be over there pounding the PB yours.
Oh,
No, that's my guy.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
That's gonna fix it.
I look forward. Sam's coming over to fix something for you.
He's
getting-
He's not.
He's
Sam
PBRing himself. Yeah, he's getting
Yeah.
himself ready.
Turns out
Yeah.
Sam doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. It's got an attitude I like. That's good.
So we're here to talk to Sam. Sam, if you can, please tell me, what is your current position in the world? What is your current position?
Long Beach, California.
For
Uncomfortable.
and how did you find yourself?
Questioning my ride home.
It's a solid place to start.
It might not be solid.
You don't know. It's
Real liquid.
I was gonna say, dear.
We're in a fluid
It's
state.
like fluid.
Situation.
Yeah.
Gonna be sticky.
Magnetic suspension. How did you find yourself in Long Beach, California?
So let's see. I've lived in all four corners of the country at this point.
Oh, right.
I'm
Actually, yeah.
from Washington State originally.
Yep.
And man, talk about a trip down memory lane.
Right. So,
yeah.
So,
bring us along for the ride.
there we go. Like, if I'm sure we have listeners who are
What's that,
unfamiliar-
Toby?
Begin at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's the whole timeline.
Yeah, because
So the first thing I saw was labia.
on my way
I
out,
did just send this link to my parents.
Yeah.
and I'm immediately like, "What the fuck is this? Why are we doing this?"
I didn't ask for this.
Read this. Oh my god, who turned the lights on?
This is where it's going, guys.
So we probably have some listeners out there who are unfamiliar with Sam. Sam is a photographer, videographer, and my personal knowledge of him was way back, probably 10, 12, 15 years ago, in PVW, photographer for PVW. What did you do before that?
So let's see. I graduated university with a BA in geography to make maps because
Topography?
MapQuest was a thing then.
This is how you can identify the four corners of the United States,
Yeah.
which is
I
great.
can sure get lost between them though.
Yeah.
And by the time I graduated, I realized like cars and cameras are way more interesting than maps. And that was when the recession had really hit. And that was the first department that every local government let go.
The map department.
Yeah, just geography, like
Yep.
basically a map like you see it in Google Maps. It kind of looks like a Photoshop file because it is.
Yeah.
It's basically layers that different districts and different organizations put together using like a standardized scale. And you can download the water district for this region and overlay it, but it uses a super archaic software that, I mean, literally in one of my classes, one of the required tools was a kitchen timer because that was your way to remind you to keep saving your file because they couldn't
Oh.
even develop autosave. And this
Okay.
is like 2007 or 2008 that this was happening. Like
Yeah.
Adobe was pretty far ahead, but this I don't even remember the name of the GIS software, but like they own the market, so they didn't have to improve it.
Yeah.
But by the time that all happened, nobody was hiring, so I was shit out of luck. And
Around that time, 2007, 2008, GPSs, mobile GPSs were still a big thing. It's still really
they
kind
were
of,
like just coming on.
I was
at that
going to
point.
say, still kind of really getting there.
Yeah, like TomTom was blowing up.
yeah,
then.
Yeah.
Garmin, all that sort of stuff.
TomTom, Garmin.
What is TomTom doing now?
I think they make a
He's
lot of
done
stuff
with
for like
MySpace.
commercial shit,
Oh, okay.
like for commercial drivers and stuff. I
Right,
think.
just different accessories.
I know that
and-
was
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
last.
Last ditch
Well,
effort.
so it was like GPS, like.
Oh,
a lot of-
well, that's what
a
I
lot
was
of
going
those
to say.
trucks,
is-
like the trucks we buy for work, don't have GPS.
Yeah,
So we just buy cheap TomTom things and throw them in them.
yeah,
you go.
yeah. And then realistically,
Rental companies too, I
the
guess.
average, right, that's true. And now the average consumer, as long as the car has an interface that can work, everybody's going to do it on their phone.
Totally. But yeah, it just got to a point where I was realizing that's not a real career.
Yep.
And was super into photography at that point. Had no idea what the fuck I was doing. Kept harassing Elliot at PVW
Yep.
and Simon. And they finally gave me a shot. I shot some weird like Toyota, like an 80s Toyota 2-wheel drive chassis with an old Dodge, like 37 Dodge cab on it.
Yep.
That was all like just a fucking hodgepodge. And I shot it in Hilliard in Spokane. Retro Cars picked it up, and that kind of like put my name on the radar of PVW and made them realize
You're a real
that
photographer.
I could actually like maybe
Produce. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a chance in the dark that I could take a picture for him. But years still passed after that before I started shooting for him regularly.
Yeah.
I lived in, moved over to Seattle, moved back to Spokane, bartended, worked back in banking because that's what I did when I was in high school. And finally realized that there was a way to make it all work and started coming out to the East Coast for H2O and broke down.
Being
Solo,
present at a lot of these things.
all that stuff, and like being there, able to find cars, shoot the cars, send them back to PVW, and started to build a relationship that way.
Yeah.
That expanded to other magazines that Unity had at the time, like Performance BMW and Retro Cars and Retro Ford and all that. And then the decline of magazines kind of started to have an impact, and some of the U.S. magazines consolidated, like there's no more Eurotuner, Super Street, European Car. They all kind of folded into the same titles.
That's because Revival came out and they just couldn't handle it.
Exactly.
It's like it's the Walmart of the industry. Revival Motor Magazine. Shut those fuckers down.
See what we do next.
So around that time, I'd kind of decided to stop shooting. I was actually living up here.
I was going
in
to say, you came to live
Massachusetts.
in Mass for a bit.
I lived in West Virginia for a little bit, ran a somewhat side project called More Than More, where we produced calendars and coffee table books and shirts and all the knickknacks that you see at every booth at a car show. Nothing super original apart from the calendar.
But
and
your place in, your place in the market, essentially. Because at that time,
the crossroads of the things that we did, like for fun and as a job, mixed into a product that we could actually sell.
Yep. And at that time, the blogs were heavy.
Yep.
And it was that was almost like the transitioning period of like
it was
almost
definitely the peak of blogs.
And
like
and
StanceWorks,
Yeah.
Can I Be?
Yeah.
Those were the things that you went to, and
VW Vortex.
I guess, yeah.
Gangsta out, yeah.
Gangsta out.
The right, it's almost like in a way those are unfortunately at the demise of magazines. Now,
They
granted,
were, yeah,
not
totally.
the only reason.
If it
Obviously,
weren't
there's
for them, I mean, there wouldn't have been a place to get the content
That stuff.
you would have in print, but you got it immediately versus waiting months for it to be published.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of decided I was overshooting, and then moved up here and worked at Lens Pro To Go, which is a camera rental house.
Yep.
Had a really good time there. I was finally here. I saw you guys more often.
Yeah.
And got a job offer to move to Miami and keep shooting. So kind of scrapped the whole welding school application and moved to Miami and worked for Vossen Wheels for 6 years. And I started there as a photojournalist just to travel with them to all the events that they went to, which was a global thing because most of their business is outside the U.S.
Yep.
And that quickly evolved into being their like creative director overall and having a hand in every type of content, merchandise, website, trade shows,
welding.
booths, no welding.
Didn't you build the
I tacked
wheel?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, I tacked it
That's
all
welding.
together, but I mean,
Tacking's welding. That's
I can
most
run a
advanced
glue
form.
gun, so I can weld, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hot glue. Should see the beads I can roll with some fucking Elmers.
Yeah, let me notch those frames for you real quick. Real structurally sound.
So 6 years at Vossen. Safe
Yep.
to say that taught you a lot.
Oh, a tremendous amount. Like we traveled the world, and it wasn't really my cup of tea car-wise because I'm not of a budget to afford things like R8s and S-classes and
Right.
AMGs and stuff, but it allowed me to really see how the industry worked in a big way, and not just the aftermarket industry, but the car industry as a whole, including OEMs and like how they would bring models to market and the process for promoting them before they were actually landed.
Yeah.
Which you don't really think about a whole lot as a consumer, but when you realize that a tremendous amount of work goes into building a new model, whether it's a car or a wheel, you got to figure out what to do while you're building the wheel before it actually hits stores.
Right.
And that's like the key time to figure out if it's going to be hot or not, and if you need to double down on your order or scrap it and move on to the next project before that one even lands.
Yeah.
Did they ever use the phrase flossing on Vossen?
I have no idea.
Seems like a missed opportunity. You ain't flossing if you ate Vossen. If you're not on
I'm
Vossen,
sure it
you ain't
came up.
flossing. I mean, come on. You were the
I'm
creative
sure it
guy.
came up. I mean, we were
should have sent it to you when you
I
were
was
there.
gonna say you should have sold it to him. Just-
Hey, reach out. That's all I'm saying. You know the guys. Have them reach out. Flossing and Vossen. Every time I saw it, I was like, damn. It's like tease yourself up.
So while you were at Vossen, I believe you built a car.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. I mean, I ideated a car.
You
and
creatively directed a car.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
a couple,
director.
really. I mean, during that time, obviously being a Volkswagen guy, I had established a relationship with the people at Volkswagen of America, and I had bought a Mark 7 GTI within the first couple months that it came out. Got rear-ended in those same first couple months, and eventually, by the end of that year in 2015, the Rocket Money wide body kit had been released in rendering, and I hit him up and got one of the kits on the way. Called up Swoops and said, "Yo, let's do it," and we did it.
Yeah.
Drove the car up to New York, flew up to New York something like 12 or 14 times throughout the year of 2016 to get it built and really like capture the whole process and make a couple videos about that process and what went into it, because it wasn't just, you know, zipping a couple fenders onto a car. We went pretty deep with it. And that car later went on to be part of Volkswagen's fleet in 2017. So they brought it around to all the global rallycross events and all the enthusiast shows and a couple of the auto shows. And it was at SEMA a few years. It was in 14 or 15 different magazines. And it really paved the way to like do more of those cars. And after that, I did a handful of other things for Volkswagen, like an Arteon that I had for.
I remember the
an extended period
Arteon,
of time.
Yeah.
It was one of, what was it, 47 that have sold? No,
Yeah.
it was.
Depending what year.
At one
Yeah.
point, it
Yeah.
was the only one on the road because
Yeah.
they hadn't been released yet.
Yeah.
And to this day, it might still be the only. Who knows?
Very limited.
I love them.
Depends on the state.
I loved it too. It was a great car. I put 10,000 miles on that thing
Yeah.
as a loaner, and like, you know, putting suspension and wheels.
Because you
Right,
brought
right.
the dust
Building a
off,
body.
right?
I was gonna
all
say
that
that
stuff.
was probably the last time we seen you before
You're right.
pandemic and all that. Was that 2018 dust
Seven.
off? 20.
18. Yeah,
I think it was
probably
2018.
Yeah.
This was the last time we all saw an Arteon as well. Which is not good.
No, there is a
It's a shame.
white
I
one
like that
that
car.
is around here.
Really?
And in their defense, there's one that I see every day because somebody from my office bought one,
Oh, good for them.
Someone
Yeah.
from your office spent that much money on one?
unsolicited. Like I didn't say you should buy it. They did it on
They
their own.
traded in their
Did it on their own.
CC.
What did they trade it? No,
What year
not a
is it?
CC. It's
Is it brand new?
not
Okay.
brand new last year
Okay.
because
So
I think he's had it for
they
about.
missed
8
the
or
R
9
motor by
months.
a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could have
Close.
had it.
Yeah.
Could have been a contender.
Close.
I forgot what they traded in. Wasn't something that good, but anyway,
Certainly.
yeah.
How you doing, Tob?
I'm enjoying listening. It's a trip down memory lane.
It sure is.
So right, Mark 7. Actually, what you ended up calling it the GTI RS.
Yeah, it was just stickers.
Yeah, just a project name.
Yeah, I mean, we had done quite a bit of modification all the way around. And
Yeah.
it was a catchy name to like stick to it and make it something that was easy to refer to as,
Yep,
and like
yep.
tell people go to gti-rs.com and you can see all the specs. And
Yeah.
when you're at shit like SEMA, that's pretty valuable because it's an easy thing for people to get back to and see, see the website and all
Right.
the details that they may have overlooked when
And-
they saw it in person.
Easier the better when you're there because it's so
Right.
overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm not going to say like, oh, go to angelfire.com/67452 dot. you
Really
know,
miss
It's
Angel
not going to
Fire.
work. Yeah,
In that car, you still have it.
I still have it. Buy it,
I
please.
was gonna say it's
It's
For the
currently-
so-
love of God, buy
You
it. I
put it
probably
up
need to
there.
list it
You put it up.
first,
Yes,
though.
I'm saying, right? So you chirp about I want to sell this thing, but then how seriously have you taken the selling process?
Not seriously.
That's
But
a not
I do
serious,
think
sir.
if you took the selling process seriously, if you do genuinely want to get rid of it, someone is going to buy that car.
Well, I mean,
There's a
for
lot.
any price, somebody will buy it. But I'm not looking for a huge sum of money for
Yeah.
it. I'm over it. I mean, I've had the car for 7 years now. It's
Just
been
looking to
built
move
for
on.
6 years. I got my fun and thrills out of it, and never brought it to the track because I realized I'm not really even interested in going to the track. Like, I used to talk a lot of shit like, oh, it's ready to be on the track. I can't do it until I've finished my contract with Volkswagen to make sure I don't wreck it before one of their events that they're counting on it for. And then we have this conversation with a couple friends at the Shitbox Speakeasy out in California all the time. They go drive canyons all the time, and like, is there a campground near those canyons? Because that's what I want to do. They can go up and down as fast as they want, but I don't get any pleasure out of that.
Really?
I was going to say you've taken and clearly enjoyed the overlanding aspects of life.
Totally. Volkswagen Touareg TDI.
You're
diesel,
big.
Clean diesel. Got
How's
the license.
how's the JRZ suspension on it now?
It's fucking sick.
Is it?
Yes.
I mean,
It's
JRZ
so
must make a
sick.
pretty nice product.
They sure do.
Yeah.
And I mean, Eurowise and JRZ are the collaborators on it. JRZ makes the shocks. Eurowise makes the bracketry
Shout
that
to
makes
Mike
it specific.
No.
Shout to Mike No. It's amazing. Pretty simple install. Did it myself. I'm not a mechanic, but it wasn't that complicated. Might make a little bit of noise in the passenger front, but I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
It's going to work.
We'll get through it.
I had it out in Johnson Valley a couple weeks ago for a shoot with a TRX that we were working on through the Hoonigan guys, and beat the fuck out of it, thinking, okay, either that knock that I hear is going to be a really big problem, and we're going to AAA this bitch home, or I'll realize if it made it through this, it must be fine.
Yeah.
Still haven't figured it out.
Something you can overlook.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Budford thinks you
Super
should
happy
bring a
with
trailer.
You really should.
I submitted it. They said no.
They said
Really?
no?
They said okay. So they said no completely, or no for a
Oh, please read the email.
I got the email right here.
what do you call it? What do they call it? Reserve.
I can elaborate on both.
Oh, so excited about
Fine
this.
with me. I
So-
mean, we
Were
shout out
the
all the time.
photos not good enough? They were like, hey, next time hire a pro photographer.
Yeah.
Thank you for submitting your blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, we've decided to pass on listing it at this time. While we hate to turn away any listing, the market for modified vehicles is typically narrower than for more stock examples, and we ultimately want you to have a successful sale. So I replied, that was on March 31st. April 4th, I said, thanks for the reply. If I lower the reserve, would that make a difference? I see plenty of heavily modified vehicles listed, so if there's any more feedback you can give, I'd be happy to hear it.
Why? Well, it's such a much more professional email than I would have sent.
No reply. Mind you, that was April 4th. May 18th, I reply saying, any feedback on my last email? Because I'm really interested.
Yeah.
6 weeks ago. Would love a bit more insight and feedback if possible. When I first submitted it, there was a really gaudy Jeep that was mid-auction, and now that I look, a couple even wilder ones since then. Would love some more info. And somebody replied saying... replied with paragraphs, if you can see that. Basically saying, to give you additional perspective, we're a curated marketplace. No shit. Like, you think I didn't look at these?
Right.
And are very selective with modified cars we accept. We're simply inundated with submissions of great vehicles at this time. Blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, our current volume means we're often faced with a difficult decision. Like, just
Just
form email reply.
lip service.
But like, you should have seen some of those Jeeps that were on there.
Oh, I've seen trash on there all the time.
And they don't sell for good money,
No.
which is crazy because those Jeeps, you put that on Craigslist in Florida, $80,000 Jeep. Bring a trailer, $48,500.
But your car was like
Same
a
fucking
real.
Jeep.
That was like a real car. Like
Yeah,
Volkswagen
it had
was involved.
like a motor and tires.
Yeah.
Right.
Was involved.
No, I think I get what he's saying though. Where like it wasn't like a
It's not just like Sam's car. This was like,
bit of a factory
like
back
Heidi's Jeep?
Yeah.
yeah, maybe if it was just Sam's car, it would have gone.
Maybe.
They
Yeah,
don't want
Sam.
that. They don't want a really nice
Who's
thing.
What
that
about like P car market or something like that?
It's not a P car.
They
Those are
sell whatever they
Collecting cars.
Yeah.
Doug DeMero's thing.
Cars and bids.
Cars and bids.
Bids.
So it's funny you mentioned cars and bids, Toby, from all the way over there, because I did consider that and started watching cars going on that site, and they were going for really good deals if you're a buyer.
Ah.
Like,
So you're trying to
you want
get
an
that.
E90 M3 and you want to spend 18 grand. There was one that sold for 18 grand. Doesn't sound like a great deal for me trying to sell some
That's an
dumb
ad.
That's
wide
fair.
body.
It's an ad for carsandbiz.com.
Yeah.
It is.
There you go.
Go
If
there,
you're,
rip somebody
if you're
off.
buying.
Yeah, if you're selling, no.
Yeah. Well, I don't
So,
know.
I mean, at this point, I just need to actually list it.
Yeah.
And that's
Where
what
would you list something like that?
Bring a
back
trailer.
page.
Back page. Yeah, back page.
Rest-
Toby, how do
rest
you
in
list
peace.
something on back page?
I'm going to take the Fifth Amendment.
All right. So, yeah, I wonder, do you drive it at all?
Let's see. I daily drove it when we moved to California at the beginning of 2020 for like 2 months.
Yeah.
scattered the front lip finally, which was years overdue, and then parked it. COVID happened. We finished moving from Miami to California, and I bought the R32, so
I'm just thinking if you
R32 is
like
way more
drive it
fun.
and throw like a for sale sign in the window, if anyone bites.
Oh, you should see the sticker that I made. It was a piece of white gaff tape that was about 4 by 4 inches.
Yeah.
Drove it to some like VF Engineering car launch, and it just said for sale, like a inquire phone number.
Yeah.
And I've never heard the end of it from the rest of the gang back home. That's an example of how much I've tried to sell
The
it,
effort, right?
Some hard marketing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't use it, so I should get rid of it, right?
No, but I don't know what you. I know. What do you call
cash.
it? It depends.
If
You
you
need
don't,
the
if you
cash, I
don't
get
like
it.
it, fuck it. Yeah, sell it.
And-
If you can buy something else better or put it towards something more useful to you, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
right.
when you think about like what it costs you to store a car, and I'm
Yeah,
spending
buy
a
it to
couple
car.
$100
I have no
bucks
idea
on
what
a
it costs to
spot,
store it
a
out
couple
there,
$100 bucks
yeah.
on insurance and all
Yeah.
that stuff, like it kind of starts to feel like, well,
I thought you didn't need insurance in California.
It's like an
that's-
adopted
that's
child.
Miami. But yeah, you start to spend a few $100, and it's like, man, a few $100 over a year, I could buy a dirt bike,
There you
Right.
buy
go.
a new camera,
Dirt
Right.
bike. I
I
like
could
it.
go to Hawaii.
Get a Ducati.
All this
Hawaii?
shit,
Okay.
like- And
Yeah,
the-
fuck it,
the
sell
more,
it,
The more
dude.
years that I do that, the less dirt bikes I can
Fuck
buy.
that thing.
Yeah.
Buy a bunch of sport and supplies, a Ducati.
I said dirt.
Time of your life.
Yeah. The Ducati.
Ducati
Maybe it's a dirt bike.
Yeah.
goes right.
Okay.
Goes right
okay.
for the gusto.
It's an
I
Evo.
don't know. I think maybe Instagram could definitely help you out.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
could-
I
know
did-
what
I'm
reach?
too fascinated with making the car perfect and like having a perfect ad, and
and then right
guys
instead
back
of
home just say, just take pictures in your driveway and list it
How
up
many
and don't
photos
Yeah.
do you
give me
have of it
details.
already?
Oh, thousands.
That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I
Do
mean,
you have
I've
any
shot it,
industry
but, like,
connections that could put it out there?
Do you happen to know anyone?
Gotta talk to my boss about that.
Yeah, you know anyone
Yeah.
that's big on YouTube?
Yeah.
Jesus.
yeah, you got access
I
to a
get- I
website,
get-
right? Just put it right there.
Yeah,
It's
let me
Pleasant
just do a
Compton.
bunch of burnouts and show that the diff
Yeah.
works. And
Yeah.
then,
You could drive over there and sell that day.
maybe. We'll do live.
I'll fly out for that. That'd be
Yeah,
hilarious.
you need an auctioneer?
yeah,
You
exactly.
need someone to push it across the block?
And if it doesn't sell, I'll just park it on the street.
Oh,
and
he's
leave the
he's
keys
sitting
there.
up
Yeah.
now. He's sitting up out there.
Oh, do we need to zoom out? to
We
get
I
the
think we
full
need to
image?
zoom out. Yeah.
Zoom out.
Let's keep this party going here. Well,
The AC in this place is unbelievable.
unbelievable. It really is. It's great in that room.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're just doing a little technical difficulties, making sure the Tobias cam is back. He's sitting up. Toby, let me get a status check. How's the bubble gut?
Much better, much better. I think I'm ready to stand and erect myself.
Oh, wow. You look erect.
It was definitely the peppers that Sam fed me earlier.
Shishitos.
Shishinos.
See that?
What is a shishino pepper? What am I missing
It's not a
here?
shishino at all. It's a shishito. And they're like little peppers. They're delicious. Did you have the pepper, Sam?
I did.
I'm not a big pepper guy.
Gut strung like bull.
Yeah.
Still like bull.
Yeah. Not a big pepper guy, so.
Oh,
Well, they're
man.
not hot, so it's fine.
They're not hot?
The Rotiform advertising is super hard in the shot now.
And like we're honestly not
I gotta
doing
fix
that on
that.
purpose. Okay, so you found your way to
To
California.
Yep.
you left Miami for another position.
I did. I moved to
Okay.
California to work at Wheel Pros,
Yep.
which is a parent company that right at the time had just merged with MHT. A short story on the wheel industry is that a few companies own a lot of the brands.
Yep.
MHT was one of them, owning Rotiform, Fuel, Niche, US Mags. There's one other, Dub.
Yep.
Yup, that's right.
And I think that's it. And then Wheel Pros had American Racing, XD, Moto Metal, KMC, Asanti ish.
Yeah.
There's definitely others there. EFX tires for
Yeah.
UTVs. Came on to help run the media and marketing there. And then we acquired more and more, TSW and Black Rhino and all of their little brands. Zebras Racing, which makes UTV suspension and snowmobile suspension. And then eventually Hoonigan and Throttle and Terraflex. Terraflex is a Jeep suspension company. Throttle sells parts online from San Diego, and Hoonigan is the
Hoonigan.
gang.
Yeah.
They're my neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at now. So essentially, Hoonigan has joined forces with our existing marketing team, and we're making a giant marketing department out of the Hoonigan team, the Wheel Pros marketing team, and as we acquire more, using it kind of like an in-house agency.
Yep. How does that work? What is your day-to-day like?
Complicated.
Okay, just there's
There's a lot of moving parts.
Right.
And the deceiving part of the wheel industry is like everybody thinks Rotiform got bought out and they're owned by this or that and they must sell millions of wheels, but nobody in the car industry understands how big trucks are. And trucks are massive.
yeah.
You know, you say that, right? And I didn't know how big trucks were until we had neighbors next door who you met, obviously, Kyle Trucks, Kyle Kitty Designs, and like
Trucks.
their customer base, trucks.
Lots of trucks.
Lots of trucks. And I was like, oh, this is a thing?
I'm building a truck now. That's how trucked I got.
Yeah.
It's leaked on
Trucks.
you. Yeah.
Truck
Huge.
right in the mouth.
It's leaking on the floor
It's
out there, I'll
leaking.
bet.
I think he's inside now. He looks like ET.
I'm freezing, boys. I'm freezing.
You want the blanket?
I got it wrapped around
Okay,
my
good,
Do we need that light on him?
I was gonna say we
Good.
can probably move that light. I got some
Here,
other.
listen. Tell us more about the
We got to
trucks in
relight this
general.
guy?
Yeah.
I'll
can-
relight this guy.
I'm
I got
interested
it.
to hear about the trucks.
Yeah.
Trucks?
America's Unsolved Mysteries.
So what's
America
like
buys trucks.
the truck market like? So obviously, like Volkswagen world, you're in. Call
It's
it like
tiny.
It doesn't
tuner-ish. Are the trucks different?
yeah,
Like the
totally.
people?
Well, I mean, non-enthusiasts drive trucks. Not a lot
Right.
of non-enthusiasts drive Volkswagens compared.
So non-enthusiasts drive trucks,
Like,
but they
people
still
just
like
buy trucks.
soft wheels.
But I was just gonna say the average person. There could be millions of people out there who just do not care about modifying any vehicles. Buy an F-150 and go. You know what? I'm gonna put a set of wheels on that.
Or they need to buy new tires on their truck that's
Something.
a couple years old. And
Right.
I could get wheels with those tires
Yeah.
for a couple bucks more.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
you go.
They don't even necessarily care what they are. They just like the concept of it, correct?
I mean, let's not say all truck owners are tasteless.
Yeah. But let's.
However,
Southern Squat.
They do make monster
Southern
wheels.
Squat.
the ability to design and sell a less flattering wheel is a lot easier for truck companies.
Right. Right.
But I mean,
Well,
we're talking
again,
about
even
consumers.
I was
like
ju-
generic as fuck consumers.
I was just gonna say, right,
No.
and millions of other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's the vast majority of those people. It's so much wider, so you can have way more preferences.
Yeah, man, we talk about like quantities of sold vehicles, and like it's always like trucks are just well above and beyond like anything else.
Yep, totally.
I
Well,
tried.
look when you're out on the road.
I
the
tried to
amount of
witness
trucks
protection
that
light
feel
'em.
like they're just going to run you off the road on a daily basis.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in danger.
Hey, does your thumb light up?
No, but something else does.
Can't show you where it is right now.
E.T. Bone Home.
Yeah.
I tried to put the light behind him and blast it so it'd just be a shadow, but I need more
No,
light.
no, I think it's perfect right now. The only thing he could use that cowboy hat. That's about it.
Oh shit! Hold on.
So the safe to say truck market is where. How much time do you guys put into? Do you have to put in as much time marketing to those group of people?
It's a little bit different because every
There we go.
every brand has a different niche,
Yeah.
including the brand niche. It's a lot more broad for trucks, though. And that helps because truck fitments have stayed the same for a very long time.
Yeah.
So if you have a Toyota, the same bolt pattern, the same offset, everything works on
This first gen.
on Chuck's leaky thing out there versus like a brand new 4Runner, it's going to run the same wheel.
So you don't have to alter the design and bolt pattern and offsets nearly as frequently as
That is
automotive
correct, Tobias.
cars.
Correct.
Just clarify.
I don't like looking through this 2x4, but we'll make it work.
Yeah, it's a temporary rig.
Yeah.
Temporary.
But that does make perfect sense that the amount of people buying wheels for trucks is a much higher volume.
Yeah.
Especially in the United States.
Well, yes. We're speaking in the U.S. of A. 48.
Yeah, lots of fucking idiots out there, so lots of trucks on the road. You know,
Well, let's not judge them, at least publicly.
judged.
At least publicly. That's right.
I got one too, bud.
Yeah.
So let's kind of take a step back. It's seemingly chaotic. You're doing, I'm sure you wear many different hats.
Yeah, it's a little bit all over the place. I
Yeah.
get to dabble with Rotiform here and there, which is obviously where I feel at home because I'm a Volkswagen guy and into sports car racing and stuff like that. So
Yep.
That's super fun. We just released a video from not Sowo, but I
Kinda
mean, for all
Sowo.
intents and
Kinda.
purposes,
Alpine
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Factory. Yeah,
Helen,
yeah.
Georgia, whatever.
Yeah.
Alpine Volksfest
Yeah.
there.
Who was the creative idea behind that?
That was all JJ.
Okay.
Old man JJ.
Because I liked the
if
kind
you're
of
listening,
like
turn up your hearing.
outside of the box like misinterpretation of
Volks.
yeah, of like
Alpine.
like Alpine.
Yeah, our storyline it had started a little different where it was gonna say vocal, like VOLKL, which is a ski company from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Great company.
Still out there.
Oh, is it? I wouldn't know because I don't
Fuck with the
skis.
snow.
I fuck with the snow,
I-
just not the skis.
Yeah.
Corey don't fuck with the snow.
Or seafood.
Or glizzy.
Or glizzies. Yeah.
Quizzes.
I got a lot of hard rules in my life.
Yeah.
somebody,
Man's gotta.
I'll give you a few pointers on some nice things to eat.
There you go.
Yeah. Toby had a glizzy right before this event.
somebody
Fine.
sent us a photo of Spam hot dogs.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Can only get them in Hawaii, apparently. But
I'm still out.
Spam's big in Hawaii, right?
Does
Yeah.
it come pressed into a hot dog shape though?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
looks like a
really
fucking
hot dog
hot
shape.
dog.
Does
Yeah.
it have a condom on it?
No,
A skin? No.
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 Oh,
It has to. How's it stay together?
Good question.
Maybe the can
Natural
is shaped like a
Spam
cylinder.
stay together.
Natural casing.
Yeah.
It's in a can.
Yeah,
it's
but
a
when you
giant
take it out,
can
it doesn't.
cylinder.
Yeah,
Pressure.
for
Comes
a
out
little
of a
while.
Rolo
Press fit.
tube. A Rolo tube.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You just
Yeah, you just have to
Just keep right.
Shake weight.
say you have to shake weight that
Yeah.
thing.
So actually, yeah, Rotiform in particular, doing we praise them often just because, again, just to see where that started way back when and to now be on and involved in actual motorsport is quite a feat.
it's a wild ride, yeah.
It's really cool. How does that work?
So through the merging process, Motegi, which was Motegi, that's one of the Wheel Pros brands that I forgot to mention.
Yep.
Which is why I forgot to, so we can mention it now. That brand had a lot of involvement early on with motorsports like sports car racing, and hit a deal with Ferrari to outfit all of the Ferrari GT cars and challenge cars with rotiforms for like the 458 chassis and then the 488.
Mhm.
And Motegi's not really a lifestyle name. And Rotiform, coming from the Volkswagen scene where lifestyle is king,
Yeah.
and the whole community is based off of lifestyle, saw an opportunity to kind of follow the same heritage path that BBS did unintentionally and use motorsports to its advantage to try and bring motorsports and European car community together.
Mhm.
And because we own both companies, it was relatively easy to say, you know what, we're going to stop putting Motegis on these cars and we're going to start putting Rotiforms on and ramp up Rotiforms engineering and race technology in the same way that Motegis was. So in current times with the cars that are on the track right now, like most Ferraris, the Acura DPI cars, a few others, things like the Audi Dakar e-tron, those are all on rotiforms, and the Dakar car is on an original rotiform design.
Mhm.
And starting next year, like the new program cars that have new bodies and are homologated to new styles, those will be on original rotiform designs. So like, and there's a lot of misconception, like to the point where I just got a hilarious screenshot earlier, a couple minutes ago in our group, about how people think Rotiform has put a lot of money into brand deals like Hoonigan. They're essentially buying their way to being seen as reputable. Makes zero sense. Rotiform didn't buy Hoonigan. Rotiform is not a huge company. It's just a brand. And then somebody replied, Hoonigan owns Rotiform. Nobody knows
And
what the fuck
they
is
don't
going
have
on
a
here.
clue.
The
They
bottom
don't.
line is like Hoonigan's a media company, Rotiform's a wheel company, Rotiform makes wheels,
Right.
and people don't understand the difference between cast wheels and forged wheels and three-piece and monoblock and
And
the
people
whole 9 yards.
can't take the first 30 seconds to get past, oh, there is a corporate structure to this. And if I
And they
actually
don't-
think about it, this is how it works.
Yeah.
Instead, they just assume and, out of spite, jealousy, or whatever, they just get angry.
Yeah, and in most cases, they heard something from their friend, sister's cousin's aunt,
Right,
and
right.
take that as gospel. And
Who-
it actually
who-
means fucking nothing.
Who was mad at Ken Block because he made the bear wheels.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I feel bad about posting that. I swore Hoonigan on it. Bro.
Is that your alias?
You really have to call him out right on the show.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. That's rough.
Exactly.
There must be a lot of that though, especially as a recent with like the
Especially-
different like
No,
stuff
and
around.
there's like now that Facebook groups have kind of replaced forums, there's
Yeah.
a lot of chit chat that happens.
Yeah.
And as much nonsense that's spread around the same way that we used to see on Vortex.
Yeah.
Like
Now just faster.
1.8Ts don't always win.
Oh my god! You know what you got
That's
hit
not
him
true.
with the let me Google that for you, like they used
We
to on
gotta
the
hit
forum.
that SEO harder first.
Yeah.
I'm always good for the in before the lock
Oh yeah.
comment, just be on stuff.
Before TL.
Yeah, just like
Totally.
that because
TLDR.
those are the good old days. Yeah.
Most of these podcasts.
Yeah.
Joking.
Toby, let's get a quick checkup.
You okay?
I'm gonna go lay down again.
All right, we're gonna lay down again.
Let's
All right.
position that camera in line.
Yeah.
Best of luck.
All right, buddy.
All right. Sounds good.
Right back at you. No, open that door.
Don't spend the time moving.
I won't.
All right. Yeah. No, we're not gonna. Don't worry.
It's okay.
Yeah. So I think does anyone ever really kind of set the record straight and stuff like that? You guys just like fuck it.
Why try and fight?
I was gonna
I
say.
don't know. I don't know if there's like someone who's
No,
like
I mean-
trying to educate.
So there was one really good campaign that happened years ago that Mercedes did about replica wheels, and they showed like side by side testing.
Uh-oh.
why we probably shouldn't be fucking around with this in the middle of
It's just Toby's mic.
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah,
There we
sorry.
go. There we go.
this. Wonderfully helpful. Yeah. Waste of time.
We got to keep eyes on Toby.
Yeah. I don't.
So Mercedes did a campaign years ago
Yeah.
about replica wheels and the safety hazards, and they'd show like side by sides of hitting curbs and shit like that, and show OEM wheels that are
Yeah.
like tested and engineered and using proper materials, bending and not breaking, and tires not deflating and stuff like that at speed.
Yeah.
And then they show it side by side with like a replica wheel from wherever. Like people
Yeah.
always say China, but really China's not where most of the wheels are made nowadays because of tariffs and things like that. But you'll see like the replica wheel just scatter into a million pieces. And it's because there's actually engineering that even goes into a cast wheel. You're not just pouring liquid aluminum into a mold.
Right. Right. Not just
There's a
designing
little bit
something
more that
and
goes
then.
into it. And that's the only time I've seen a really strong like campaign that tries to set the record straight about something relative to the wheel industry. But outside of that, like I don't know if it really matters. And that was in Australia too, not here,
Got a lot of time on their hands.
I guess.
Yeah.
How long
kangaroos
does
and
the
stuff.
development of a motorsport wheel take?
It depends. So Ken Block's new Pikes Peak car, the Huna Pegasus.
Yep.
That wheel happened real fast because that whole car and program happened real fast. And the parameters were it needs to be light, it needs to be strong, and we need them now. And
You
we
need
did
a
all
lot
those
of 'em.
things. And we made a lot of them.
Yeah.
And the car's out testing right now. I think it was at the Porsche LA Experience Center today, actually.
Yeah.
And I was out in Colorado with them testing it last week. We'll be back in Colorado probably next week. Ken's out doing, I think, the Mid-Ohio Rally right now.
Yeah.
So he's got a packed schedule. Like, he's out racing Rally and then comes home and starts testing this Porsche again. And then Pikes Peak is in like 2 more weeks. So he's got a lot to do. But that will happen really, really fast. Whereas you compare it to something like the new Ferrari GT car, that car has taken years for Ferrari to develop, and like the homologation process for designing, testing, and outfitting all of those cars takes a tremendous amount of time because they build a ton of those cars. Like you only see a few of them racing Le Mans, but they actually probably build hundreds of those cars, not only for those teams that crash them occasionally and whatnot, but also the customer racing programs and other series like WEC and IMSA here, and then wherever else they might end up. And that's a tremendous number of wheels too. So it takes a really long time to make them all, obviously, but that car has been in development for years. And once it hits the ground, it'll have what it needs. So it varies. It varies depending on the project and the parameters, but
All right. I just thought they were wheels.
yeah, they're round and stuff.
Do you guys send, so for instance, Ferrari, do you guys send them a bunch of, or prototypes for them to test? Do they test like, strength, integrity, things like that before they?
A lot of that testing is done electronically now with
Okay.
like a finite element analysis where they they simulate the same type of pressures based off of bumps and turning angles and tire pressures and all that stuff. But yeah, they still send out a ton of wheels, and like we do as much testing as we can, but then Ferrari wants to do their own testing and they do their own testing, and we don't really know what their parameters are, but they tell us yes or no.
Yeah. Yeah. A bunch of marinaras.
Yeah. Many meatballs.
Yeah. How many meatballs can I hold?
Yeah. You are doing something different seemingly every week, from photo stuff to video stuff to do you find yourself obviously not tackling projects yourself, but managing a lot more people?
It comes and goes.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff that we did last year revolved around the power sports segment. So UTVs and UTV wheels and tires and suspension.
Yep.
And we shot a lot of that type of content firsthand. And when I first started at Wheel Pros, our goal was to build a media team that could act as its own in-house agency. And then Hoonigan came along, and now we're merging those two things. But we have a UTV camera car that I kind of designed and put together that we've shot a lot of those commercials with.
Yep.
And it's a ton of fun to bring out. It's a ton of work.
You've flipped it over as well, right?
We didn't flip that one over. I flipped a different one over.
Okay.
But, I mean, you do that when you drive those UTVs in the sand, you know? Who would have thought that when you take your foot off the throttle, you lose traction? Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, now I get why I've been around productions over the years through Volkswagen and stuff. And, you know, you see the Russian arm cars out there and see what their cost is per day to operate them for commercials. It's not a small amount.
Right.
But now that I see how much R&D goes into every setup getting dialed and working correctly, and like finding the source of all of these different micro vibrations and dialing in the camera and the camera package, like the camera, the lens, the batteries, the wires, all that stuff. It's a lot of work. And ours is very simple compared to those things. Like you see those Russian arm cars, and they've got 5 people in those SUVs.
Right, just
and
operating
the
for
guy just
one
making
shot.
The boom go around is sat sideways in the hatch, looking at a screen full of like motor readouts to make sure that he's not overloading like the pan or the
actual
or whatever motor.
Right.
And it's pretty intense. And we tried to really dumb it down and make it a 2-person operation where one person drives, make sure they don't crash into the car we're shooting, and the other person shoots and make sure that the car stays in the frame. And it kind of works shockingly simply.
I mean, the modern prosumer gimbal and camera combinations, you can produce very high quality content.
It's wild now.
And matter of fact, even in the past year, I forget what it's called, the alien arms and Tilta.
Oh yeah, we've got one of those. We shot some of that Rotiform video with the very first time I set up that Tilta Hydra alien arm for RS2.
Yep.
And
Tilta,
it's just
what?
Tilta's the brand.
Oh,
the
okay.
product is called the Hydra alien arm, and it's like a mini black arm that is this long and just absorbs the bumps of the road, and then the camera hangs off of it. And we shot beautiful, super clean and crisp rolling shots off the back of a Chrysler Pacifica.
Yeah.
And I mean, you think back to when like JJ and Matt Crane were making videos with, or even fucking Toby and Alexi.
Yeah.
Like making videos with skateboard fisheye lenses.
Yeah.
And like frame rates all off and
To
everything,
now-
but it didn't matter because it was cool and fun.
Yeah.
To now cinematography that is movie quality.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we all, I mean, I'd like to think that pretty much anybody in the industry now, especially entering the industry, has like some serious hours sat watching Top Gear in its heyday.
Yep.
So you really
We're seeing
learn
it.
by example.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
See like, damn, that shit was really smooth, and the camera movement relative to the car was really nice. I need to figure out how to replicate it, and that's how you learn. Like I don't have any
budget.
training.
And it truly is a team effort, especially when you start getting into that stuff, because you have the driver of said camera car. You most of the time have the operator of the gimbal, potentially somebody pulling focus, and then whoever else is in the other car or cars to manage as well.
The subject car driver is most times the most crucial thing.
Right.
And I've worked with Tanner Faust a lot, who was a Volkswagen driver, and he's done
FD champion, I believe.
FD champion, built a drift taxi with
Pikes Peak
Volkswagen.
driver. Yeah, just a bunch of different stuff.
He's been in more movies than you can ever imagine.
Top Gear as well.
Baby Driver. He was the driver for all of that stuff, which is pretty, and like multiple Fast and Furious. But having a driver that's capable and comfortable is paramount because it takes the driver looking like they're going fast to make it look like it's going fast.
Yep.
And luckily, we have a couple of really fucking skilled drivers at Wheel Pros, especially on UTVs, that have raced Baja and know how the desert works and how to play it up for the camera. And you see that in the shit that we shoot.
What's your favorite thing to shoot?
Not people.
Cars? Like
Yeah,
off-road,
yeah,
on-road, track?
Right now, it's dirt because living in Miami, I didn't get to do any of the outdoor dirt stuff. And I was just out in the desert last week with Hoonigan and Ken Block shooting his new TRX campaign.
Mm-hmm.
That was super cool because Ken can fucking drive too. Like, it's white knuckle to the max as far as I'm concerned, but he makes it look effortless because he's a master of it.
Yeah.
And getting to shoot that and work alongside him is super cool and makes it really rewarding to shoot because the guy just produces gold and all you got to do is point the camera in the right direction and you're usually getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that stuff is super fun. But like the sports car racing and IMSA stuff is super fun too because you get to go to iconic tracks like Daytona at night with the fireworks and the Ferris wheel. And like we've all seen those pictures for decades now. And it's like that is sports car racing.
Yeah.
And to get there.
To be there,
that
be
stuff
present,
is
and
super fun and exciting too.
do you prefer shooting video stuff or photo stuff?
I'm kind of split. Like I started out shooting photo and video obviously became a mandatory thing as a content creator. And I adapted the best that I could. And when I was working at Vossen, I started shooting a lot of the video stuff and doing most of the traveling video on the trips we would go on to Europe and Asia and wherever else. And I picked it up what I felt like was decently well. And to this day, I've never learned how to edit video. Like Instagram reel is the extent of my timeline skills. But shooting it, I think if you come from a photo background, it makes video a lot easier because you understand framing really well. You understand how to capture motion and like learning how a cinema camera works is pretty straightforward once you have the basics already there, especially with rollers. And rollers have always been my favorite thing to shoot. So shooting video of them
just makes sense.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
You can add so much more to it.
Totally.
What is your plan for the rest of this year? Yeah, do you know it?
Oh, we're like a week at a time now.
Okay, that's what.
Wow.
I'm
That's
here
insane.
because there's a wedding that my fiance and I committed ourselves to a while ago that just finally happened. It seemed like a long time ago for a really long time, and now it was like, oh fuck, that's next week.
Here we
So
are.
I hit you guys up, and here we are.
Yeah.
After this, we've got more testing for Pikes. I'll be at Pikes Peak with Ken, and then at that point it's July, and I honestly don't even know what the schedule is.
Right.
Like, I've got it. I just can't think of it right off the top of my head. I know the guy like Jason is at Lamar right now, and then I think we've got Goodwood Festival of Speed, or Goodwood, the Players Classic show at Goodwood maybe.
Yeah.
I can't keep them all straight. There's so much shit going on. Like Baja 500 was last week, so half of our team that does dirt stuff is out there. There's an Overland event coming up where Black Rhino goes to, and then Ultrace in Poland.
Yeah.
Suck.
You going?
People, I wish. No, it's like next.
Is it really soon?
It might be like tomorrow. I don't even remember.
Is it
God
really?
damn it.
I think Le Mans is happening now, and next week might be Ultrace.
Ultra is the best name change in history.
Yeah.
Good
What was it
change.
before that?
Yeah.
Racism. It's not a word in Polish, but they found out it's a word everywhere else.
Right. Just one of those.
Yeah, but it was
things.
the funniest. Like you see the merch and be like, I don't think that should be merchandise.
Didn't Subaru do that recently with the fuck edition?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Ultrace is just like a monster of a show, man.
It seems like
It's
I've never
just
been.
crazy. Yeah, I haven't either. I see the coverage every year of it. I'm like, shit, that's cool as hell.
And there is a lot of brings the heat, if you will.
Yeah, the name of the town's unpronounceable. It's awesome. Love it out there.
What would you like to do more of for the rest of this year?
Camp.
Okay.
Camp.
I've
You're a big
built-
camper.
I've built this Touareg to fucking camp, and we haven't gone a single time this year.
Yeah.
That's the primary thing. Like spending time with the dog in the woods is super fun.
Your
So-
dog has quite a story.
Oh my god.
Maya dog.
Your dog has the best story.
Yeah, can we hear the dog story?
So
Do you know the dog story?
I do. I don't know how you got the dog, but I know what the dog's from.
Okay.
Okay, so we found the dog on the street.
Yeah,
We were living in Miami. Lindsay was working at a salon in like Overtown, Wynwood line, which in Miami, Wynwood is like the arts district that used to be the hood where you could buy crack on the corner, and now it's becoming like where the Ducati store is.
Gentrified.
You know, yeah, it's a fucking case study.
Yeah.
Hilariously enough, the guy that owns most of Wynwood is the guy that gentrified the meatpacking district in New York.
Oh, really?
Same guy.
That's wild.
He's got a few under his belt.
Yeah,
He's great
done
at it.
this road
Where's
a
he
couple
going
times.
next? I want to buy property there.
Exactly, right.
Yeah. Detroit?
I mean, it seems like a low-hanging fruit.
East Providence, buddy. Doing a roundabout right down the street.
That's probably how I ended up here.
Cities have them on a retainer.
So, whoa, there goes the headphones. We found Maya on the street outside Lindsay's salon, and we had been looking for a dog for a while. Had kind of decided we were at that point in life that
We lost Toby, by the way. Yeah.
That's all right.
He's been gone for a while.
Snapping. That's all right.
Yeah.
well, Toby knows the story, so he doesn't
Yeah.
have to listen. And Lindsay sent a picture of her. I left work early, ran over, met her. She was super docile, like wickedly underfed. Had been living on the street, and like all of her fur was gone on her knees and her hips, and just laying on hot concrete all day, you know. And we brought her home. We just took her in the best we could. Lindsay left that next morning. She flew up here because she was working in Boston, like once a week, every month, while we lived in Miami. So Lindsay like hooked me into getting this dog.
And then it's like,
I go,
I'm out.
I meet it.
Sounds correct.
Yeah.
We go to PetSmart, get her a couple things, and I literally bring Lindsay to the airport. We didn't even go home.
Yeah.
Or if we did, it was for like minutes. And we have a cat who's an old man. He's from Massachusetts too. Lindsay bought, she didn't even buy him, but got him from some barn in Massachusetts 12 to 16 years ago. She can't even remember.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Lindsay, my fiance, she's from Washington, lived in Massachusetts for 8 years, moved to Miami. We met in Miami. Our mutual friend said, "Oh, both you guys lived in Boston before."
Wait a minute.
And then
That's pretty
we started
wild.
talking and realized that we actually both lived in Washington, and her aunt had a diner and a train caboose car across the street from the mechanic shop that my dad worked at when I was a kid.
That's wild.
And like worlds just
God's plan.
and Lindsay lived in the same apartment building as Josh Bean
Yep.
in Boston during the time that I like when I lived in Boxborough, Mass, and worked at Lens Pro. There were a couple weekends where I went into town and like stayed with Josh or stayed with him before I went to the
And
airport
she was
or whatever.
like right across.
And like we could have passed in the hallway.
The
Not
world
have
is
known.
suspiciously small.
It's wild.
It's God's plan.
Wild.
Yeah, I like that. Keep it going.
Funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Chuck, because after we moved to California, COVID hit. Lindsay was home all the time. I came home one day from work because Wheel Pros never shut down because tires are an essential business.
So is radio.
So
Yeah.
is radio.
radio,
So it's paper.
paper. Yeah.
That's right. And come home and Jimmy from Degrassi's video is on the TV. Dog's Plan.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Dog's
God's
Plan.
Plan. And I'll be goddamned if Maya is not sitting on a fucking porch there.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought back real quick and realized like my old coworker at Vossen, Della, videographer, best editor in the game. Like I've never seen somebody turn trash into gold, my trash into his gold so fucking fast. He's a huge Drake fan. And I remember when Drake was in Miami shooting this video because he just walked around and gave people money. And
Okay.
he did like a
God's plan.
pop-up performance
That's a good play.
at FIU, which was right around the corner from Vossen, where he just showed up and like had an impromptu concert there mid-afternoon one day, and like half of Vossen's team just fucking bounced to go over to this concert.
Yeah.
And so I remember like, yeah, they shot that there, and I was like, that has to be her. That's got to be the same dog. And I started thinking about the timeline. It made sense. And like Maya in the video was clearly still a pup
Yeah.
because her ears weren't poking up, and she's got ears that are like fucking cell phone towers, full 5G service. And one of them was still like hanging down because, you know, like the musculature hadn't popped up yet. And then I do like a side-by-side comparison and pause it in like 20 different spots to show her marking on her chest.
I remember the post.
A whole 9
like, oh my
yards.
God.
And sure as shit, like there's no way that it's not the same dog.
Have you ever sat her
She's
down and
from,
played her the video?
Yeah.
Is there any reaction?
11 times straight.
Is there any
She
reaction?
hums it. She hums the tune.
I mean, we're still waiting for that royalty check, but
Yeah, because I'm wondering if like she sees, she's like. you
so
know,
the area that,
You sneak up on Drake with it.
those
Yeah.
clips were shot in is like 2 blocks from where we found her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that whole neighborhood that they shot that whole intro scene in is basically between where Lindsay's salon was and where we lived in Wynwood. And the timeline makes perfect sense because she had just had puppies when we found her. And I met somebody on the street in Wynwood one night, like in the first week that we had her, that recognized her, and she immediately recognized him. And he's like, "Oh, this is my buddy, blah, blah, blah's dog." Like, she kept getting out of the fence, and then one day she disappeared, and she showed up like 6 months later and had puppies and kept getting out of the fence, and we think she was trying to find her puppies. And that was like 2 months before that. And then Lindsay used to volunteer at a women's shelter in that same neighborhood and kept volunteering like throughout the rest of that year that we lived there before moving, and brought Maya to the shelter with her one of the days that she went to like volunteer and cut hair. And all the women there recognized her, and they called her Mama Red. And it's like, well, that shelter's like in the neighborhood that the God's Plan video was shot in. That's in between the salon and our apartment. Like, there's no way it's
And it's the same dog.
yeah,
What really tells you.
it's the same dog.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So you
dude.
live with a celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
billions of views, man.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, Dog's Plan.
That's plan.
Yeah, it's wild.
Who seems to every time you post something, like learn something new all the time, and just become such a, dare I say, people person.
She is.
Because she you posted, early on, you could see kind of skittish stuff, or what was it, not used to water or not used
It
to
was a
sand or
rocky
something.
road for sure.
Yeah.
She'd never been in a car. Like when the first night, I was like, "Come on, hop up! Like, what are
Let's
we
go."
doing here?"
Yeah.
And you could tell like she didn't know what the fuck we were talking about. And
Yeah.
Lindsay always reminds me of that one. But she, it's been a learning curve. She had never really been around water. We tried bringing her to the beach in Miami before we moved. Not a good idea. She liked playing in the surf, but would not swim. Once we moved to California, we brought her out camping, found a stream that we walked across, left her on the other side, forced her to learn. She thought we abandoned her for life. And then she paddled her way like the 10 feet across the section she couldn't walk. And ever since then, she's like a fucking seal.
Yep.
That's awesome.
It's wild. Like getting the ball out of the water is her job, and she does the job
She's going to be the best at getting the ball out of the water that's ever been done.
completely.
Also rock climbs as well.
Oh yeah, she's full on mountaineer. We went out to Sedona for Lindsay's birthday last year, and went on like an 11-mile hike. It took us all fucking day, and got to this spot where you could like a human could barely climb up this crevice, and Maya just like tossed it in 4 low and paws her straight out to the sides and like just wiggled her way all the way up to the top, like 20 feet up this crevice.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's a monster.
Yeah, it's funny.
How'd you get down?
I don't remember, man.
You
I
like
think
carry
I
her
put
maybe?
her on my shoulder and like backed my way down.
I was
There was
like-
no way she was coming down easy.
Yeah.
And she's a brick. Like she looks like a small petite dog, but she weighs like 40 pounds.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Solid.
Who
Yeah,
came up
she-
with the name Maya?
It just kind of fit. Like our cat's name is Marley. I don't know.
Hey, I didn't know if there was some cool
Angelou
story.
Is a
Poet.
formative part of Lindsay's life, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it made sense.
Made
And
sense.
Eminem,
Eminem.
Yeah. And, one of the things we considered, though, too, is like dogs don't, like, you can rhyme their name and they hear their name. So coming up with a word that doesn't really rhyme with a lot was
Similar
key.
pitch, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, making sure that it wasn't the same word as something else that you would just normally say and catch her attention and wake her up.
Like Alexa.
Right. Exactly. Siri.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay, Google.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Google, come here. So what are you doing when you go back? What's the first thing you're going to jump into? Or actually Pikes Peak stuff, right?
Yeah, straight into that. I got to finish dialing in the Touareg.
Yep.
It's got the suspension on now. I'm stoked on that. It's got all the other Eurowise parts. It's got some Baja Designs lights on it, and I have a Switch Pro that needs to be wired up so I can control all the lights and power the fridge and all that stuff. And then I think it'll be pretty much turnkey. Outside of that, we've got a bunch of dead grass in the back of the yard because California. And I don't know.
A hole in the
Week
fence?
by week.
What's
Hole in the fence.
Hole in the fence, yeah.
what's going on with the R32?
It still hasn't passed smog.
Oh man.
It passed smog the first time, no problem.
Yep.
Brought it in for timing chains, like general timing chain service and whatever else popped up. Did wheel bearings, did full AC service, condenser, pump, whole 9 yards.
Oh, wow.
Got it back, still didn't pass smog. There was a leak in the flex pipe. Got a header from Lucifer in the UK, the same one that Whipple had. Finally got that on. Can't get the readiness codes to reset.
Oh my God.
So like it's out of registration by months now.
Yep.
Because I just can't fucking get it to reset the readiness codes.
Yep.
And now it's just sitting in the driveway. So that's one of the top priorities when I get home is to finally get it passed and pay whatever fines have racked up from not registering it.
Oh.
Wow, I didn't realize you.
How's that work
incur-
out there in California?
I don't totally know.
About to find out.
I mean, I got a notice that said I owed an extra $76 because it was overdue.
Yeah.
And by the time I get home and get it back to the smog check, it'll probably be another $76. But in the
Yep.
grand scheme of things, whatever.
Right, it is.
Cars-
You know.
The car's growing in value, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
always.
And now that it's got all that shit done and I can like carefree drive it,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, it's gonna be
that
great.
throttle may as well be a switch.
Mhm.
Right.
Like I drive that car on and off and just fucking rip it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That,
'Cause
that's
I feel like it. I mean, I feel like it's bulletproof now.
Yeah.
All the mechanicals
Yeah.
have been gone through except for like maybe doing axles.
I mean, to be fair, those cars were pretty bulletproof to begin with.
totally.
Yeah.
Right, you're
it's
not-
turboed. It's not supercharged
Yeah.
or any of that shit. Like
yeah, it's not a 4G63 Mitsubishi motor.
right.
To-
Right, it's not going to last forever.
Yeah. It's a pretty stock R.
Enjoyable,
You know?
Yeah, and like the body's fucking beat, so I don't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like you
just
said, a
drive it.
ripper.
Just don't total it.
Yeah.
But if you do, I've got Haggerty now, so we're good.
Boom,
go.
there we go.
Yeah. You find yourself a
Hard
new
plug,
one.
Matt.
Shouts to I was gonna say shouts to Matt and Haggerty.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep pumping that value up.
So that's something I was going to ask: is are you guys planning to make more long form content?
For Rotiform, yes.
Okay,
Like Rotiform, that kind of content is key.
Makes
I think
sense,
That's
right.
what helps keep the brand alive and makes it interesting.
yep.
And perpetuates the sarcastic humor that has shaped what Rotiform is.
I was going to say
like if you've ever read a PVW ad, you know that
Yeah.
we're a bunch of fucking idiots.
the ads, the video shorts when Whipple's just pretending to be Ken Block.
Exactly.
It's so good. It's good stuff.
Ken had never seen that until like September when we were all at a meeting together and we had to pull it out and show him. And he was definitely appreciative. It's pretty convincing.
It's
convincing impersonation. For
hard
sure.
pressed to
Yeah.
tell the difference. You know, somebody who wouldn't know for sure.
Totally. Yep, totally. Yeah, that kind of content is key.
Yeah.
JJ's pretty good at ideating those things, and we've got a great group of actors like Whipple and J Mac from Players, who's
Yep.
a Wheel Pros employee now too,
Yep.
and he operates the UK warehouse. It makes it easy when you're surrounded by great people.
Right.
And I think that's what Rotiform owes its success to, is like just having people that are hardcore about not only the brand, but the lifestyle, be the ones shaping what the brand and its corresponding lifestyle are.
Similar thought processes, similar humor and understanding. Like, hey, it's okay to think a little outside the box.
Totally.
Not
And
be
to be
so-
honest, that's what attracted me to it in the first place. Like I met Brian and Jason the first year that they started Rotiform, or at least Brian. They had driven up to a show in Seattle in 2009, and that was the first time that I had seen one of the wheels.
Yep.
And
The
now
BLQ?
here we are 13 years later.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
or the
what was-
MIA maybe.
Okay.
It was one of those two. I think they both came out around the same time.
Yeah, I think there were two.
And that was always one of the brands that I was really attracted to. And when I first got the offer to move to Miami for Vossen, Whipple was the first person I called for advice because I didn't really know anything about Vossen at the time. Like there wasn't a great reputable place to get non-biased opinions of a company. It was like, oh, my fucking wheel cracked. Well, you put a wheel for a C-Class on a G-Wagon. Of course it did.
Yeah.
Stuff like that
Or
is
you
not
just- or you-
exactly useful.
Yeah, or you took to the internet and now they own Hoonigan, or Hoonigan owns them.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
all right.
totally.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've looked up to everything that Rotiform's done forever, and I want to help usher it into a new era.
And just continue. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and like build it as more of a brand that like people see as being relevant to motorsports, and
Yep.
we have like wheels that we're working on that will be the gateway to that, hopefully.
Yep. Is there, dare I say, big stuff in the pipeline for this year or next couple of years?
Probably all of the above.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of big projects. Hoonigan is very, very busy with very big aspirations and a lot of projects that are what Hoonigan is known for.
Yeah.
You know, like big, crazy shit that you would never believe is possible that they've done, and now there's a video on YouTube that you can watch.
Yeah.
And they're well on their way. Ken Block's Audi that is going to be in a future Gymkhana type video is fucking incredible. It combines like Formula E race car motors with the e-tron battery platform and a shitload of carbon fiber, and it's going to be wild. Like just the renderings alone. Well, actually, they're not even renderings. When I first saw the pictures, I thought they were renderings, and they were real pictures. And
Yeah.
the car's that wild. And as a photographer, to not know the difference is terrifying.
It's something.
Yeah,
right.
it's
Yeah.
So like stuff like that is super exciting, and Ken's got a huge schedule ahead of him between his Audi Electric program, the Rally program, and TRX. And as a Ram ambassador, he's getting access to the sickest truck that's ever been built with all the horsepowers and all the noises,
The
none of the cares.
downright
So-
the downright jealousy I have for being able to just fuck around with a TRX in the desert
Ugh.
with a camera and a bunch of friends or whatever. Like,
with ventilated seats the whole time.
my God. It just looked like a hell of a time.
God's truck.
It is.
God's
When
plan,
we
God's
saw
truck.
that at the auto show. We all agreed after getting out of it, like, yeah, this is the truck.
Yeah.
Look, let's get that Escalade body on that TRX chassis.
I like what you're saying.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying.
get-
Escalade pickup truck.
No, fuck
No,
that.
just
Get
kidding.
the whole
Full
head on there.
Escalade.
Yeah.
Give me the 3 rows.
Off-road, like V off-road.
Well, they just made an
6
Escalade
pole
V.
positions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this would jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jump
Escalade V could jump.
Long travel, link suspension.
How many
the whole 9
times can
yards,
it
like-
jump?
Could jump. Not great, but it could jump.
Look, we had that TRX out 2 weeks ago, and if that had been a first gen Ford Raptor, it would have been tacoed immediately.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. There was one.
And
Do we
they
need to bring
just
up the
kept-
video?
I don't think we can play it.
No, we
don't
definitely
know.
Oh, it's the
can't.
best video ever.
The best
though.
video that's ever graced the internet.
It's pretty good.
There's
But-
one where Ken and, who is it, Zach?
Yeah.
It's in there. Are full tilt, and he hits on the driver's side what looks to be, I don't know, 2-foot
Oh.
rock.
Yes.
And he just kind of giggles.
And they go, be more, because be more is standing from here to the table from where his passenger tires went as the truck lifted towards him.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And booked it away from the camera because he thought like he was
Fuck
This
done.
is it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was tracking on stills the whole way, and I have in motion like the truck perfectly clear, and be more like running out of the way in the foreground.
That, like, that in any other vehicle will set off all the airbags.
1,000%.
Yeah.
It was.
To be honest, I'm surprised
It didn't for that one, honestly. Like,
we looked at some of the pictures. Some of those
Yeah.
jumps were pretty gnarly too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was full nose in, ass in the air.
yeah.
But it took it.
Is that is that one of those things where you're like, oh shit, I'm part of this now and I'm doing this.
Totally. Yeah, like never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be out there in the desert shooting
in
like
Invisible
Ken
House.
Block shooting this shit
Yeah.
at this crazy house.
Yeah.
Yeah. This giant office building looking thing that looks like it got planted here out of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I
and
didn't
we
really
have
know it was
this
a
crazy
house
truck.
until like
Yeah, it's got like a
looking into it
60-foot long pool inside.
yeah.
Fucking wild.
That's quite the
It's
house.
insane.
Solid
Yeah.
pool.
Is there anything else around, or is it just that
Oh
house?
yeah, it looks like the hills have eyes on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh
like
boy. So
fucking trailers, and
right.
you can only really take pictures from
From
one
one-
direction
okay.
because if you're looking, the view from that house not so good.
Yeah.
Great at night,
Yeah.
but once the sun comes up, like we showed up at 4:30 in the morning to shoot it for sunrise, and it was so cool because the sun was coming up over our shoulders,
Mhm.
so the catch light of the horizon was lighting up the side of the house. And by the time the sun came all the way up and you see like mobile homes and abandoned cars and everything in the distance, it
Tunnels.
definitely lost its appeal.
There's definitely tunnels down there.
Definitely.
Oh, 100%. Huge shouts to Brett Sloan in the chat. Just
Oh
sent
my
over.
God. Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay. Brett Sloan
Well, we are way over 10
Straight
cents BB.
posted a vehicle he just acquired today.
Did he post it? He was telling me he got something spicy coming.
Spicy
Oh,
Let's see
isn't
here.
even
Oh, boy. I didn't know.
isn't even the word.
Oh,
I don't know if we've got the clientele, but listen, if you're in the market for the coolest of the cool,
listen, I'm a clientele. He's just going to reduce his price. It's too high, and I haven't seen it yet.
yeah, I'm sure the price.
Oh, no.
if you didn't know better, you'd think I was the one taking that off the trailer.
Is that
Yeah.
you?
You damn near think so.
I can
Yeah.
be two places at one time.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
Science.
perp on perp.
Movie
Oh, yeah.
magic. Did he post
Even
it
got
to
those
Sloan
hairy
or?
thighs.
It's Sloan Motors
Okay.
on Instagram for all those listening along. It's a perp on perp 930 turbo.
Oh, boy.
Toby, get me a Bud Heavy out there. That's all we've got. For
Oh, it's Toby.
mezcal
Oh, Toby's
options.
just under the blanket.
He's under the blanket. I was
That's
just, I don't
the
know.
funniest
I
thing I've
don't know
ever
if he's
seen.
awake. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow,
Oh, Tobes.
This
That
thing
is-
brings the
that's spicy.
everything. This is part of God's plan right there,
that's God's plan.
for sure. Dude,
Sloan, look, PVW. Of all the years that I've shot for that fucking magazine, of course I finally get my car in it and get to shoot it, which is.
oh, right.
Thank
That was
you,
another
my
big part of
friends.
that.
But I'll be goddamned if Brett's not the face driving it. And I sent him a bunch of banger rolling shots. The only time I'll ever really like clout my own photos because I'm really proud of them, and we shut down Lime Rock.
Right.
to shoot 'em.
It's a cool thing. Right.
They picked the one where you can see the driver, and it's this
it's
clean-shaven, like short-haired guy that is clearly not me.
Yeah.
I look like a fucking
he
homeless
driving
man,
it?
and he's the one driving it.
That's
Perfectly
amazing.
polarized shot through the windshield. Brett
Forever.
Sloan's face.
Forever
So
remembered.
Brett, if you add, let's see, 10 to that price and take out the decimal, you can have the car.
I mean, it would fit him pretty good. Yeah,
might
photos.
fit in.
Yeah,
He'd be
you have
great in it.
photos of it.
He'd be great in it.
Um,
Maybe just trade it for that perp on perp. Be a nice trade. I mean, he'd have to throw
we'll
cash
trade
on.
for all 4 of those wheels. Car not included.
just straight up.
Take the wheels.
Just
The
straight
wheels
up.
will sell for more on P-Car Market than mine.
God, that thing's so cool.
It's amazing. Yeah. Dude,
Supermodel for hire.
I mean, you guys may not know this. I don't think anybody really knows it apart from
I love this.
Frank Kaiser. But you remember the 919 race car shoot, like the Porsche race car, and they did a bunch of pit shots of the driver getting out and the whole pit crew around it in motion, and the car is like perfectly HDR'd out.
yep.
Brett's the one in the racing suit.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right,
they-
I was gonna
think
say
they
he's
shot it
friends
in
with him.
Bahrain.
Yeah.
And Brett was there, like he's good friends with Frank, who's like the mastermind photographer behind all of Porsche's
Yep.
great photography for pretty much post-Wart. And Brett was there helping Frank, and they needed somebody that was driver size. And Brett fit the suit,
Brett, man.
hopped right in.
Guy just gets better and
Nobody
better.
will ever know.
Better with
He
What did I
time.
miss?
Until now.
Brett's always a
Actually,
supermodel.
yeah, I probably can't bring up those photos either. I don't know.
Supermodel for hire.
Yeah, I mean, with a face like that,
Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah. not the only thing it's good for.
We love you, Brett. Thank you for coming to hang out.
Are we
Is
already
it-
done?
I-
This
is
has
there
been
any-
4 hours.
Is there anything else you wanted to chat about?
I don't know.
I don't know. I
Toby,
feel-
how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be with us.
Do you check for a heartbeat or a
Yes.
pulse?
I seen the blanket moving,
Okay.
so
He said that they've had some great times together.
Toby and I have had some.
Can you
amazing
share
times
your
together.
favorite time with Toby?
Ooh, baby.
I feel like I
Man,
should
we
bring the
gotta
mic
dig
back over
in
there.
the,
What are your most
dig back
memorable?
in the archives? Let's see.
Because
I mean, so the first time I met Toby was at H2O, 2009.
mhm.
yep.
I walked up on him and Alexi, and of course knew who they were, and they had no fucking clue who I was because I'm a nobody. And it was like meeting celebrities because I had seen their cars in the magazine and
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards, and they couldn't have been cooler. And from that point forward, I was like, yeah, maybe these East Coast people are all right.
Yeah.
And then
All
lo and
right.
behold, I moved out here. But I mean, Toby and I have fucking done everything together. We, let's see. I would say the favorite time, like I lived with Toby and Danielle for a whole month in December of 2013 when I was between West Virginia and Massachusetts trying to figure out what the fuck to do with my life. And didn't have, like, I was coming from working for myself.
Yep.
Didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. Toby and Danielle took me in. We worked on our mutual friend Greg's shop trying to, you guys know Greg, right? That shop in Cranston.
Yeah, I've been to the shop a few times.
Tried to fix that place up and spent the whole month of December and into January just living with Toby and Danielle and Cletus and the 2 pussycats and going to work with them every day. And like, if it weren't for that, I'd probably have become a welder and be living in Massachusetts right now.
Right. It's just kind of, as fate
It's the
would
most
have it.
Massachusetts thing you've ever said.
I know, right?
I'm a welder.
I mean, if I moved back to Washington, I could just go get a job at the boatyards.
Work
with
for the
guys
local
from MXPX,
217.
so.
You know.
Right. Pipe fitters union.
Yeah.
Well,
But I mean, without that, like, that's what reinvigorated my interest in the car scene.
I was going to say,
Job
I'm going to be honest, I
opportunities
can't
more.
picture as, Welder Sam.
I mean, I can glue gun like a motherfucker. So.
Yeah.
Not from the physicality thing, not the ability, just the
I mean, look, like being a photographer in the last 15 years is a fucking roller coaster because you think that all you ever want to do is shoot for magazines, and then before your eyes they fucking crumble into
Disappear.
pieces
they're not
and disappear.
right, and I think it's even
and you realize like, okay, well now what? And then CGI starts to play a big role in things, and
Yep.
you're just watching everything you've worked towards like start to disappear into the cracks, and you can't figure out where to position yourself to like write out the story.
Right.
And if it weren't for like video and having the opportunity that I did at Vossen to get my feet wet without like over promising my skills on videos that were like real freelance jobs where there were consequences to not doing something right, then I wouldn't have been able to really get into it. And at that time I was really like, I was building the GTI early in my time at Vossen and used that to springboard myself into their content pool and started shooting a lot of commercial stuff, photo and video for Volkswagen. And that allowed me to do like Vossen stuff was polished and cool looking, but also very, very lifestyle. And
I was going to say
Volkswagen was
loose,
like
a little
the
looser.
most corporate legal
Right.
thing that you could do. Like we were on a shoot in Colorado and it was a 3-day shoot. And on the morning of day 2, we found out that legal decided, even though your hands are on the wheel like this, with your thumbs wrapped around the wheel, that's not safe anymore. The thumbs need to be up parallel to the wheel. We
Right,
had to
'cause you
reshoot
could-
4 shots because of it.
Because the airbag could potentially break your thumbs.
Right.
Right. But that level of scrutiny.
Really?
Yeah, and like
Yeah, it's
the producer found out the morning of day 2 of our shoot and was like, we need to reshoot a couple shots because legal sent out like an all points email to everybody and these are the
God,
new
they're
specs.
the worst.
And by
And it's
couple,
like,
I mean
That's
all the
pretty,
shots.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking anal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like seeing both ends of the spectrum where we can literally shoot anything and polish it into whatever it needs to be versus like the thumbs are in the wrong spot.
Right. It's unfortunately all
How they feel
liability.
about us talking about the T-Rock?
Oh God! Well, this is why we don't have.
That's why they haven't answered our emails.
I'm going to be honest. This is probably why
The old T-Rock.
it's going to take a fucking miracle for us to see more press cars.
But
I think
also-
miracle's an understatement, Josh.
But if I'm not mistaken, when we did the interview with Megan Brooke,
Yeah.
there was someone
Yes,
else listening in.
there was a
You're kidding me.
no.
She's there. She talks at one point.
So
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
that
yeah,
not
yeah.
able to be a live interview?
No, it was live. Well, we didn't.
No, it
do
wasn't live.
Actually, no, we pre-recorded
And the
it.
lawyers were like, yo, shut the fuck up now.
No, it was more just a.
I mean, it was a good interview.
It
Don't
was
get
the
me
thing-
wrong.
No,
I thought it was
It was
too.
just a weird.
It was someone
thing
from
for
corporate
us.
there who actually chimed in like towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
And
was
like,
a.
I don't think we ever announced she was there. It's just a random.
No, because she was truly there as a. Dare I say
Enthusiast
hand
and
holding?
not an employee.
It was a
Yeah,
second.
hand
Oh,
holding.
the third
Just
party.
it was truly like if you've ever listened to big radio programs, and I'm sure if you're familiar with Stern, sometimes there's handlers for big celebrities and things of that nature. If they don't like what the hosts are saying, they'll pull the plug.
Yeah, of course.
And that's.
I mean, if you listen to Stern, you fucking know that.
Oh, right, exactly.
It was just weird for us. You
yeah,
know,
it's
like,
just.
I think that our
It was
listeners,
just a big market thing. You guys weren't used to it yet.
our listeners were so shocked to hear a female voice on the podcast. When the other one came in, they were just like, "Yeah, I guess this is it now."
The second voice was female too.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was-
crazy.
both
yeah.
were.
It was
Both
crazy.
were.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it makes combined 3 females that have ever spoken.
After
on
that,
the
yeah,
show.
we swore females off.
Yeah. We had Rachel. She was a great guest.
Rachel
Twice,
was
actually.
our
Yeah.
best
Rachel's
guest.
been on
She
twice.
was here for the Predator moment.
I was just.
Friend of moment. The T-Rock moment, that'll go down in infamy.
That's on a bulletin board somewhere of what not to do.
On a podcast, yeah, 100%.
It's a corporate bulletin.
It
That's
was
what it
too
is.
hard not to.
Right. I mean,
Volkswagen made it impossible for us
they did it to
to
themselves.
gloss that over.
Right. I mean, look at the comments. What do you think you're going to
That's-
get? Like, how? There's
I'm
just
still
so many.
just so happy that happened.
We could throw softballs out like that if we wanted to.
all day.
I just choose not to.
One thing
Okay.
I do think we need to do a deep dive on
Yep.
is your car ownership history.
Oh wow.
I mean,
That's
we
not a
talk
bad
about
one.
all of our guests. We go over it.
Huh.
We can't skip it with you,
Yeah, not allowed.
just because we personally may
Well,
know.
It's pretty.
Where do we
boring.
start? 16-year-old Sam. What are we driving?
Well, what I was supposed to drive was a '64 Falcon wagon.
Well, I fucked.
there we go.
Old man bought it for me. I mean, to go all the way back, like my dad's a hot rod dude.
Yeah.
The third child in our family was a '36 Chevy that we pulled out of a field in like '92, and I steered it onto the trailer sitting on a milk crate, and it was in a field outside Spokane, Washington, where I'm from.
I am here for the dad or the mom who says, "Hey kids, here's what we're doing today. I'm going to get myself a
It
car
was just dad, I think.
out of the grass."
Sounds like a strong dad move.
Yeah, it's
totally.
perfect.
And there were many of these.
Yeah. a lot of butt
Many
heavies.
heavies.
Butt
flowing.
heavies for life.
Yeah.
And
That's
these are
how
not
those-
sponsored, by the
Yeah.
way.
That's how those
These just
ideas
happen to be in the fridge.
are developed. That's what they all.
Yeah, so I mean, but we pulled that out of the field, and it made its way into my parents' garage. And like my dad was a mechanic and service writer. My mom worked for the government in a department. She worked all over the government, like the local Spokane County government. And when I was in high school, she was working for the Boundary Review Board, which basically approved like annexations and water districts, fire districts, all that shit. And that's what kind of made me interested in that
geography.
as a career path. And
Okay.
like my parents are super conservative. They've never done dumb shit like try to work for themselves or live out of a car for months at a time and like try and turn a hobby into a job. So
Adopt
it
a
seemed
famous
We're still
dog.
trying.
it seemed really good.
We're still trying.
trying, yeah.
And
it's a very windy path.
and you know, like I look at it now and I'm a fucking idiot with money.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it pains them to see that I haven't like invested in houses, and my little brother's a fucking
NFTs.
money genius and bought a house for like $69,000 that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars now, and
That's luck.
maybe.
69.
Yeah, you're on a podcast. You're on a podcast that talks about
Finally worked.
you've made it on a
That
podcast
button's there for a
It's been on there for 2 years.
that has 69, effects and talks about eye patches.
We
I
also
made
had,
it, Mom.
I made it.
it.
we also had a sick man on camera.
we did. He's
half
still
the time.
he's still there.
Oh, they know Toby.
Oh yeah,
My parents know Toby.
That's
Good.
excellent.
it's perfect.
Um,
The funny thing, like my parents know Toby well as well, and it's just perfect.
Yeah, of
My wife
course.
has been texting me asking if he's okay, but she's watching the live stream.
He's
gonna
moving.
be-
He's
gonna
moving.
be fine.
I mean, I
Yeah.
forewent holidays with my family to spend it with Toby multiple times. So
Yeah.
What's
What's-
that, Toby?
feels
It
like
feels
winter.
like winter. All right, so first car is supposed to be a 64.
Right.
A 64.
So 64 Falcon wagon
Yeah.
had the original roof rack, 200 inline 4. That one was an automatic though, because my brother ended up having a 63 Ranchero that was 3 on the tree,
Fuck yeah.
and the one I think it was a 170.
Yeah, Ranchero's my
Sorry,
language.
inline 6, not inline 4. No, there weren't 4 cylinders back then, but my brother's ran. Mine never ran. We pulled it out of somebody else's field and towed it to my parents' house and parked it on a dirt hill in the place where their shop ended up being built.
Mhm.
But it never moved or ran, and we found somebody that wanted it. They paid more than we paid for it, and that's how I learned how to make cars a side hustle.
The art of the deal.
And it all went downhill from there. So I ended up getting a 91 Subaru Loyale wagon.
Oh yeah.
Found it in
Pacific Northwest makes sense. Subaru,
Yeah,
here we go.
totally.
Yeah.
So we found it in the Wheel Deals magazine, which was like a newsprint.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think a bi-weekly magazine.
Yeah.
And I think at the time it must have been like $5 or $10 to list your car there.
Yep.
$150.
God, I missed that.
Boom.
And they thought it had a cracked engine block. We went, looked at it, kind of thought it was a radiator, brought it home. It was a plugged radiator. Car ran fine. Drove it for 2 years. Got a little carried away in the winter one year after picking up a friend.
Sure do.
Plowed through a curb trying to drift it in an intersection. Spent a couple $100 on control arms. Learned how the junkyard. I mean, I already knew how the junkyards worked, but learned how to put it all together because I had to pull it out of the car in the junkyard.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was the start of that. And later sold that, like, must have been my junior year for $1,500.
That's
Was into it overall for like maybe $350 at the time.
a big come up.
That's just
It
yeah.
was. It's the last big one I had. And, I mean, that car was cool as fuck. You couldn't do more than 60 in it.
Yeah.
But I was in high school living in the woods. Like, where are you going to go 60
Right.
miles
What
an
else do
hour?
you? Yeah.
It, like, four-wheel drive was a red eject seat looking button on
Ugh.
top of the shifter. And
That's-
you just press
right,
it
just
down
the
to
little-
fucking
engage
cool.
Four-wheel drive and neutral.
James
Yeah,
Bond
amazing.
level.
Yeah, totally.
Sick.
Love that car. I mean, I look back on it now, and especially after seeing Pastrana's new
Right.
unnamed
What could have
crazy
been.
car. It's basically the same body car.
Yeah.
Sell the GTI RS. Get on the hunt for whatever
It's a
this
Justy,
Loyale.
Yeah,
Justy wagon, right?
Pastrana's done it now.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
well,
and
yours
he's-
isn't going to be as extreme as
he's
Pastrana's.
small potatoes. Like, listen,
Let's be honest. I mean, you
can
have
figure
great
out-
wheels. You have
yeah,
great
listen,
wheels.
like, you have the
I
best
can-
wheels.
Look, I can figure out the active aero thing. Give me
Yeah.
a bunch of aircraft.
Give
Give me a little
fire.
town.
I'll get a bunch of pulleys and
Yeah.
like through the doors and the headliner, I'll be able to
I just need some
actuate
carbon
all the
fiber
wings.
sheets.
I mean, the purists are always looking for a more analog experience anyway. So how can you get more analog?
Put
than
it right
that?
next to the
Look,
shifter.
when I flew into Providence yesterday, I was waiting for my luggage because fucking American Airlines. Who
Come on, American
had a delayed
Airlines.
flight after I spoke to like 11 people and was told that my suit for this wedding would not be considered my personal item, made me check my carry-on. So I had to wait for my luggage while Toby and Elaine waited in the car for me. But they had a boat there, like a 1920s boat that was one of the first powered boats. And I was looking at like the steering linkage and stuff because the steering wheel was a flat wheel, like in the first 10 feet of this 40-foot long boat. And it was linkage that went to two rods, like push rods, all the way down the length of the boat on each side that were connected to chains on gears that would pull the rudder side to side. So, I mean, if they could engineer that in the 20s,
Right.
I can definitely make some
Imagine
fucking
what you
bootleg
could do.
backwoods
You get this no problem.
active arrow happen.
Even active bottom. Oh, it'd be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I think you got this.
Just cut the floor out and put a foot brake in there.
Toby's
Exactly.
If anyone out there wants the coolest
It's
Mark
like the
7
bass drum.
GTI, listen, we sell it. We got a great project.
We're gonna make a real
Yeah.
aerodynamic
If you have
Justy.
a late 80s, early 90s Subaru wagon that you
We might be able to work out a
Yeah,
trade.
trade.
for a 38,000 mile Mark 7.
That's all it has on it.
Yeah.
Why? I really didn't use it much. Did you?
More miles with the whole build than before.
Okay. Yeah, because you said
Yeah,
what, it
I
got
built
rear-ended
it
pretty
at
quickly.
17,000 and it's got 38 or 39,000 on it now. Inquire within.
Inquire with it. Yeah. Finder's fee.
Yeah, totally. All
Huge
donated
finder's
to the boys at Revival.
Sweet. All right.
There we go.
We're
We'll
gonna
sell
find
it.
a buyer.
B2B up to like a quarter.
I gotta explain the math to you so you can really figure out how that's never gonna
Science,
happen.
okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
If
is the
B2B is a
IRS
quarter,
involved in this?
we're gonna buy Rotiform.
Yeah. I'm your boss.
Yeah, look at me. Look at me.
I'm the captain now. Yeah.
That would change everything.
Perfect.
You should see what we would do in a corner. Yeah. All right. So Loyale wagon, whatever that thing is.
Yes.
With
Okay,
cheese.
so
Loyal with cheese.
after that, I was really into Subarus. Like, not like I had vaped or anything because that didn't exist yet. But
Yeah.
But you would
I
have if it
didn't even
did.
drink Monster.
Yeah.
What?
You big into cigs?
No,
Not a
Hu-
cig guy?
just huge into punching walls.
Yeah.
So after that, I really wanted. Remember that, like when the Outback, the first generation of the Outback, they had the Sport Wagon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really wanted one of those.
Oh,
I
my
found
buddy's
one
got the
on a
cleanest
lot.
one in the world
It was
right
like
now.
$5,000, way more than my budget, because obviously I sold that car for $1,500, so my budget was around $1,500.
Yeah.
And finally convinced my parents to loan me the money to go buy it. Went to go buy it, and it was gone. Found a B4 Passat sedan,
Same.
purple in color, kind of like this color right here.
Yep.
Plum, a nice metallic plum. Huge sound system, VR6.
Oh,
Here we
boy.
go.
Yeah.
Here we
Tan
go.
leather interior.
Monsoon
limo
or
tints.
aftermarket?
Aftermarket. MB Court with an Eclipse
Ice.
deck. The original, wrinkle painted and brushed finish kicker amp.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Still got it.
Oh, wow.
Fucking sick sound system for me to listen to.
Trunk
the
stacked.
dumb shit that
You
I
listen to Pearl Jam back then?
Yes, I did.
I fucking did.
The first song I think I listened to in that car was
Jeremy?
no, it wasn't Pearl Jam. It was
Eddie Vedder's voice was so deep on those 9 jackhammers in the back.
Yeah.
it was either Tribe or no, it was. Oh, my brother knows the song.
I don't know, man.
It was a very bassy song because it had like a sub, and I had never had a sub before. My
Yeah,
Right.
you got to
like
go
my
hard.
rich kid friends that I went to school with had their new BMWs with subs and
Yeah.
shit, but I had never had one. Who sang? They had a song called "Kids with Guns" in like the early 2000s.
I don't know. Josh can Google that.
Yeah.
Real
It was
quick, though.
Bassy?
That's real bassy? Yeah. what-
Yeah, all their
Maybe a
stuff
little
was kinda
Master
bad.
P checking on my crack house?
Yeah.
Make him say,
Yeah.
A little Black Rob?
Definitely not Black Rob.
Oh, well.
Uh-huh. All right.
I think I missed opportunity.
Come on,
I'm
Josh.
honest with you.
El Mania?
No,
Oh, that's by Gorillaz, yeah.
Gorillas.
It is Gorillaz. Okay.
Gorillas, yeah.
Oh, Gorillas.
Put that album on, and then
Just let it go.
tested how much the windows could take.
Just vibe out.
Nothing,
Tested the fastening security of the license plate frame.
Yeah.
there's nothing better than the
That
Bass
car was
test.
amazing. I love that car. It was way too fast. I was convinced that putting 92 octane gas made it faster. It didn't.
Sure does.
And got to a point where I wanted a Golf because it was a little more modifiable.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I had started paying attention to the vortexes.
So I was
Yeah,
going to
we
ask,
are.
is that the car that kind of...
And the B4 Passat was not the path to that.
Yes.
There was one guy in Toronto that had a silver
It was like
one.
the first hit for free.
There's always that one
Yeah,
guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's always that
Fuck
one
man.
guy in the bad platform
Who's
that,
just making it work.
that went full retard. And you're just like,
No, this one was.
I'm going to
fucking
be
clean,
that
though.
guy.
Yeah.
And
It was a silver diesel sedan. And
Yeah.
he had swapped E36 Angel Eye headlights. Into
yeah,
it,
exactly.
Which
Yeah.
actually fit really well. So of course,
I got a picture of this shape, yeah.
Yeah, I naturally went and bought E36 headlights,
Yep.
thinking, oh, they bolt right in.
Pop
They
right
didn't
in.
bolt right in. The headlights went straight to the fucking trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never fixed it because I mean the Passat's front end was like the slant of the grill and headlights
Yeah.
was a solid 30 degrees. E36 like 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
guy,
you shift the light path. Look, geometry was not my friend back
that
then.
guy's always powered by like being an adult, no one else is on the forums, and buyer's remorse. And he's like,
Totally.
I'm going to take this thing to the house.
To the house.
I got the money. I can do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. These kids have no idea
I
what
can
they're
make
going to
anything happen. Yeah.
Yep. So I got rid of that and got a Mark III Golf.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
It was on Opt Sportline wheels at the time.
Mm.
17s. I
Big
didn't
wheel.
know it, but one corner rubbed really bad, and it turned out it had like a 225/45 17 instead of a 225/40 like the other three.
The rest
did.
of them.
But it did have the center cap.
Is that to offset the driver's weight?
Exactly. And I
Really
thought,
balance her out.
Man, these wheels are really basic looking. I had some Momo K-SARs that around the same time I also picked up a Mark II Jetta Coupe.
Yep.
Right.
And that came from a family friend who painted my dad's hot rod. And he had gutted it to make it an autocross car and then got distracted at the gutting it part and had it in 5 million pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I quickly shown interest in that and figured out how to go over to Seattle and get it and tow it home and got the Golf thinking like, oh, well, this will be a daily driver, 4 and 100, 4 and 100. Like I can interchange wheels, the whole 9 yards. Got the Golf, went on to put eBay headlights in it. I painted the roof in a checkerboard pattern.
Tight.
Rewrapped the headliner.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did you do to the headliner?
I don't even know why I like checkers, but I did it. Everything was
Speed.
Yeah,
Speed.
Because I was
Speed
winning.
and vans.
Yeah.
I was winning.
Yep.
Full tiger's blood. And drove that for a couple years. Drove it back and forth to Seattle a million times, which is like 5 hours each way. But all the cool shit was in Seattle.
Yeah.
And that's when I started to establish friends over there like Travi, and Kellen and Joey and all the Winslow, like all the old Mark IV kids that were doing all the cool shit.
That were
and I lived in the slums of Spokane.
integral parts of the Mark IV scene.
Totally.
Yeah.
And like on the edge of the sword.
Yeah.
And I was buried in the Mark II forums at that time. And all the cool shit was Mark II only, and like Mark I as well. And that's where I stumbled upon Toby because he had a white coupe.
Yeah,
I had a white coupe, and I didn't really know a whole lot of the difference at the time between a Mark I and a Mark II because they both looked old, and his had round headlights, and mine had no headlights, so I could put round headlights in it. And I went balls deep into building the Mark II and just kept the Golf as a daily. Found a GLX interior, so the Golf got full leather. Still had the ugly ass like angel eye eBay headlights, and drove that for a couple years until the Mark II was kind of at a point where I thought I could make it run. So I bought another Mark II, and then I bought another Mark II, and then I bought another Mark II.
So you had 4 of them.
And at one point I had 4 of them, and
Did any run?
yes,
Oh, good.
one of them ran when parked.
Yeah.
And one of them,
Those rumored to have run.
One of them was a Mark II coupe that I had bought from a guy in Seattle that had D90s on it. And I was like, yo, these are the sickest wheels ever. He had just had them chrome plated.
Oh, wow.
They had 195 4016 Toyos on them, which at the time was like a very desirable size. Ended up selling those to Ramon's brother in New Jersey. Like, I'm pretty sure it was Ramon's brother. Whoever it was, they shipped fucking tires across the country because they were the right size and used, and I didn't need them.
Yeah.
And that car, I pretty much bought it for the wheels. Took out a loan to buy it for like $4,500. Waste of money. Like, could have just thrown that money into the trash. Because I got the car home and realized the entire body of this car is Bondo.
Trash would have taken up as much room.
Yes. But I got D90s out of it, and I got a shell that was good enough to take the 16 valve that I had pulled out of the other Jetta that had been pulled out of a Passat originally, and like make it all run and like test fit it in this shitty Mark II coupe.
Yeah.
And I built so I made it all run, and then pulled the 16 valve out and brought it to a machine shop that my dad worked at a long time ago. Like when he was in high school, he worked here, and then I went there when I was in high school, and they taught me how to like remachine a head and deck the block and the whole 9 yards. So I rebuilt this 16 valve and finally ended up putting it back in the shitty Mark II to prove that it ran, and then put that into my Alpine Mark II, which was a spotless car. Like it didn't have a single dent on it. Original Alpine white. I think the body must have had like 40 or 50,000 miles on it at the time.
Yeah.
And the car is still around. It's a super clean car. This girl, Courtney, I think, owns it in Portland, but she's gone through and resprayed the whole thing. I had shaved the bay. She reshaved the bay. She put an ABA in it. That 16 valve that had like a Peliquin and transmission and clutch and the whole 9 yards disappeared into the woodwork. And I had ended up buying Kellen's Passat, B55 Passat wagon, because Kellen was from Seattle but went to school in Pullman at WSU and would drive back to Seattle, and Spokane was a little out of the way, so he'd go back to Seattle for events, and I'd hop in the car with him and pay for part of his gas and get to go to all these events where all the cool cars were, because all the shit boxes were in Spokane, and all the cool stuff was in Seattle. Did all that, loved the car so much after riding in it that I bought it from him, moved back over to Seattle again, or I moved to Seattle once, didn't work out, couldn't afford it. Got offered a job by one of the guys from Dub Audi to move out to New York, moved back to Spokane for Christmas. Dude never replied to me ever again. So then I was in Spokane like,
Son of a
well,
bitch.
fuck, I guess I'm not moving to New York, not going to be a photo editor, not going to do all this stuff. Got a job at another bank and then started bartending. And that's when I bought the Passat because I figured I need a car now. I'm not moving to New York City.
Right.
And eventually found my way back to Seattle, moved in with Travi, and a couple other friends like Mike Campbell along the way, and Mike was a huge Mark III guy. And then that like kind of paved the way to moving out east.
And right.
So I had the Mark II. It ran like a fucking top that 1 year after I graduated university. Sorry to back it all the way up to
yeah.
car story. Built 16 valve, fucking ripped. Had trophy Recaros in it, H&R Ultra Lows, Momo K-SARs on it with sticky boys. Loved it. And then my eBay fuel rail decided to ignite on the way back from like the first time that it was totally finished in Canada, and it never ran again. Towed it back to my parents' house, towed it back to Seattle. Like it was all over the place.
Yeah.
Finally traded it for some bodywork on the Passat wagon. Whole car, like complete, almost running car that I just did not have patience for anymore. Traded it for like $1,000 in bodywork, and had the Passat. The Passat brought me all around the country.
I was going to say that became quite
the Passat's like
the battle wagon.
Yeah, quite the, kind of
man, I miss that car.
iconic part of like Sam and the wagon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I fucking love that thing, dude. Those cars were so good.
Yeah.
It was so comfortable. It rode well. It was all-wheel drive. I towed trucks out of the ditch with that thing because the all-wheel drive and snow tire situation was so good. And drove the country in it.
Yeah, literally.
In 2010, I drove it to H2O by way of like California, Arizona, Denver, Missouri, Chicago, New York, and then finally to H2O, and shot a bunch of PVW features along the way. And then the next year, I ended up moving out to the East Coast, and we started More Than More. We built a trailer in Travi's garage with the help of Nick, who co-founded Stanceworks with Mike, the Neek, famous E21, like a dark brown one on TH lines. Sickest one that I think has ever been made. And we jump-started that company with photography and a car and a traveling booth, and drove that car all around the East Coast. I mean, slept on your guys' couch so many times.
Cars that are, endless times.
Towed that dumb fucking trailer everywhere.
all
The trailer
over the
was
place.
like less than this tall off the ground.
Yeah.
And we drug that thing through fucking Manhattan. And it was just a gnarly frame that you could literally drag anywhere.
Yeah.
And played that game for a couple years, and then
How many wheel bearings you go through towing it?
none.
I guess it's not that much weight, right?
No, it was never over like 1,600 or 1,700 pounds. I was more concerned about the transmission, which ended up being the reason that I don't have the wagon anymore. So I finally took the job in Miami. I still had the wagon as a daily. Moved to Miami, left the wagon with Toby, and came back like a month later to go to H2O. Flew into Providence, hopped in the car, drove down to H2O, shot a bunch of shit, drove to the Amtrak station outside DC and put the car on the train, and then rode the train down to Miami or down to Orlando and got the car off the train, which at the time was way cheaper than driving it.
Yeah.
Which is also wild.
It's, wild to think
it
about.
was
I didn't know you could put cars
it was
on
like
trains.
$85 to put it on the train, and
God.
$75 for me to go on the train. I was like, yo, can I just sit in the car?
Yeah.
Like, it's 20-something hours, but I was
Wait,
broke
you can
as
put
fuck.
cars on trains?
Usually you put them on the front at
Yeah, it's
railroad
called the-
crossings. That's the only way I know how to put a car on a train.
It's called the auto
us,
rail.
us stupid
cool.
Americans have not adopted to the, what Harry Metcalf does all the time.
Well, no, I
You know,
get
like,
that.
it's just,
I guess, I didn't know you could do that in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, only from Virginia to Orlando. That's the only route that they do it.
Okay.
Which is just,
And
again.
you just give them the keys
Do
to the
they
car.
still do it?
I don't know. I mean, so I did that in like 2014.
Would they let you stay in the car or no?
No, they wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah, real bummer because it was like, damn, $75.
Fuck.
It's going
I
to cost
know.
me $160 to get my car down to Miami? What the fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's wild,
So I got it down
dude.
to Miami and drove it, and like, of course, immediately, they still do it.
They still do it.
Damn, how much is it now?
90.
Yeah, I was going to say, so what are the locations we're showing right now?
Virginia
LO.
to Virginia, Lorton, Virginia
to Sanford,
to Sanford, Florida.
Okay, so
yeah.
still the same thing. I saw SF, so I was thinking it was going to San Francisco. But
No, it's Sanford, Florida.
wow.
Yeah.
$80.
It's a lot of
Yeah,
train.
for
That's a lot of
$80.
train.
I mean, I don't know. I
Can't
just
even
put
pay
it
the
on it for the
tolls.
fuck of it.
Take
yeah.
the auto train for $89.
You're kidding me.
Experience the auto train between DC and Florida with coach fares as low as $89 plus the cost of your vehicle.
Oh, plus the cost of your vehicle.
Yeah.
I wonder what the cost of the vehicle is now.
If you hide well enough in the back, I'll bet you could get away from.
Free.
Yeah. Huh.
I had somebody in the.
Think about that.
20 hours of hiding in the back.
Well, I mean, you only got to hide long enough for them to get it
That's true.
onto the train car, right?
Would it be a bad idea if
think-
you want
Look,
to
people
go?
come over in shipping containers and they spend 3 weeks on the fucking ocean.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I can make it 20 hours. in
Right.
the car
Yeah, but
and
all the
get
dock
out.
workers, all
The
the train
Nina-
workers
Take
just
a dump off the back of the fucking train as it's in motion.
Yeah.
The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria have something to say about you riding on a train for 20 hours.
Yeah.
upset that all the train workers just sit in your car and fart the whole time.
Yeah, that's definitely what's gonna
Say,
happen.
oh, look at this thing's comfortable.
Oh, I'm just thinking like
It's fart the whole time.
I think we
wanna
should
go
do
to
something like
you want to
this.
go to a show in Florida. I'm not driving
Totally.
there.
No, people, that's how
I'm
I
not
learned
driving
about
there.
it.
Oh man, that's a great way to go down to the VAG fair
The
thing.
I
problem
agree.
was, though,
Vag
like, they were
Fest?
very skeptical about. I didn't even have wheels on it at the time. It had like 16s with 225s, 50s or something. And they were still like, we can't be liable for the wheels. We have to drive it up this ramp that's like angle iron on both sides.
Oh man, that might
And
be
I was
the-
like, fuck it, I don't care. It's like Mercedes SL
Yeah.
500 wheels from 1998. It's not a problem.
Seems like coach trip, $280. You can
not
get a
bad.
room for $652.
A room?
what do you mean?
Yeah.
The room was like $200. back
Room
then.
on a
It
train.
was
Is that a room
still-
with a car in your room?
No.
No.
The
You're
cars
away
go,
from
like,
the
on a
car. Yeah.
double-decker type of train car situation.
Yeah, I'm interested.
And you have like maximum height clearances and stuff. Like
Yeah. Yeah. So just same thing as ferry.
It's basically
I'm not into the ferry.
it's a land ferry.
I'm not a boat guy.
No?
Not a boat guy.
The ferries aren't too bad. If you stay inside, you don't even realize you're on a boat.
That's where it gets worse.
I can imagine.
I took the ferry from San Francisco to Alcatraz,
The motion.
Not a boat guy.
and I just stood on the tip of this boat like I was Leonardo DiCaprio, and I just locked eyes with Alcatraz and never broke focus for 45 minutes.
Corey's gimbal head just
Yeah, dude, I was like, if I pick an object and I focus on it, like we're good.
I think that's what Toby's doing in the other room right
around.
now.
objects a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's laying straight up.
Yeah, so that brought us to the Battle Wagon. Battle Wagon brings you to Miami.
Yeah, and then the Mark 7 came out, and
Yeah.
I decided to buy one.
Yeah.
And ceasing to drive the Battle Wagon killed the Battle Wagon. And I'm convinced that like driving it every day kept the transmission working.
Yeah.
And then once it sat too long, that shit never worked.
Baby seized up.
Yeah.
I drove it around, so I like scammed parking in this parking garage for years, even beyond living there, and would like sneak 2 cars in the gate, and that's how I got the Passat in there first. And then when I got the GTI, that's how I got both of them in there. And I moved out of that apartment and we moved into a new place. And I think 3 years passed, and I kept the Passat at that same garage and would go check on it like once a month to make sure it was still there. Somebody eventually broke one of the windows. 2 people left batteries thinking it was only there because it had a dead battery. So I
Wait,
got
people
2
like left you a battery?
Left car batteries there. Or maybe they had brought them there trying to jumpstart it, thinking they could steal it.
Yeah.
Realizing like it's a Mark IV basically, so it's got a laser cut key and you can't really get past the ignition.
Yeah. That's true.
So I finally towed it I ended up getting a studio, like a studio space type of workshop in Miami, and towed it there.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sat and rot there for like a year and a half before I moved. Left it with a friend back there, and then I'm sure it got scrapped by now.
Yeah, I was saying, do you know its whereabouts currently?
Nope.
Oh.
I can ask him. It's probably still in his
Yeah.
parents' backyard with a bunch of other.
Wait till you see what's out back.
I know, right? Like perfectly rebuilt.
Yeah.
V10 swap like I talked about.
Exhibit's going to just come out of nowhere.
Still registering your name.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it is.
I keep
Yeah.
getting these tickets from Miami.
Why did they get a $20,000 parking bill?
Send it to auction.
I think that covers a lot.
Yeah.
We
I mean, I know we're leaving stuff on the table that we're probably all forgetting.
yeah, for next time.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
physically killed Toby as well.
He's all right.
Who's dead
He's
in
gonna
the
be
top
fine.
right corner of your screen right
He'll
now.
be okay. Sam, seriously,
Casualty.
thanks for coming to hang out.
I'm glad it finally happened.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
years.
It's literally, yeah,
We
it's
talked about this when I worked at Vossen,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
and that's 2.5 years ago now.
At least, right?
And you were close to being in Miami.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yep.
It just took marriage.
Now you.
We
Just
have
took
to
somebody
marriage.
else's.
Yeah.
marriage.
Somebody else's
We've
marriage.
got to make it out there to go hang out with you.
You were fucking just there.
Listen, I know I was.
It's bad timing, bud. Bad timing.
Next time you'll get we'll line it up to where we can go do dumb desert shit. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
9 yards.
That's all we want
I'm trying to go do dumb desert stuff soon.
in a Model 3.
Yeah, you're a little more. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Did you see that Model 3 that was lifted and roof tent and the whole 9 yards?
Oh, what?
Oh,
I did.
Pull that bitch up.
What is it?
No, I'm trying to go
Tesla
like desert
mod-
racing. Like,
Yeah, it was at the Mint.
I didn't see it at the
Or
Mint.
no, King of the Hammers.
I
It
was
at
saying,
King
I
of the
definitely
Hammers.
there was some weird shit at the Mint. I didn't
Model-
see that.
A lifted Model 3.
Dude, there was a
on
G-Wagon just did the
MCs.
Baja 500.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Sick.
Sick. Made a big pass over like a Jeep Gladiator.
Yep.
People were fucking going nuts for it.
Those Gladiators bend their frames.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'd
don't know how
imagine
far
so.
that's
They're
gonna be.
long.
Got a buddy that tacoed the fuck out of one of them.
Doing jumps?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It happened.
It was in Mexico.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
there was a Model
Oh wait, I can't put it on that one.
a Model 3 that had been lifted, it had a rooftop tent, auxiliary lights, the whole 9 yards. Cut out the fenders. It was
Wow.
something else.
And
I'll be damned if I can remember the name of it, though. What?
got
No,
here?
that's a Y and an X.
Model 3. Where was
There
it?
it is.
Oh,
Bottom
is that it
right.
right there?
Yeah.
there she is.
Look at that motherfucker.
Oh, you know what? Ain't half bad.
I like
What's up with the hood? Why'd they do that?
I think they just cut the top out and left the venties.
Yeah,
Yeah, but-
like that's the rebar that's inside it. It looks
Oh,
like.
Yeah,
For
so
sure.
it's structural.
but
Maybe for cooling.
It's
I don't-
spinal.
I don't fucking.
there's like a little plastic like
Oh, there's a
cooler
video too.
thing.
Oh, it's from Richie Rebuilds.
Oh,
okay.
Rich.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that.
All right.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
get that Hertz rental. Pay for the
Yeah.
full coverage.
Just take the front bumper off.
I got a Sawzall.
Yeah.
Have at it.
We,
We'll make
we
it
get everything we
happen.
need for
We
this.
sell wheels and tires.
There you
we
go.
can find something that fits.
Done.
I'm into it.
Wait, you
Oh,
guys sell tires?
Yeah, we sell a bunch
Wheels
of
with tires, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
Nittos
what?
and Falcons.
Yeah.
Wait, like the Nittos I just bought for a ton of money? Good for you guys.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to diversify. It's good.
Do you guys sell Nittos and Falcons? No shit.
Did they ship from a Wheel Pros warehouse?
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
They shipped from
Oh my god. I just realized what happened. All right. Talk to you later. They're sweet. My Larry Birds are Nittos. Ridge ropers, ridge gropers,
Ridge Grapplers. That's what I've got on the tour.
ridge grubs. How do they do for you?
I love them.
How do they do in the snow?
Didn't really. We went up to the mountain twice with them. Did pretty good actually.
They're supposed to
There
be
you
good
go.
on the snow. I read about
Yeah.
them.
That's what he was saying, and we
Yeah.
were kind of questioning it. It was
I'll
a
bet
little.
you could sipe that center section and they'd be even better for stopping.
Done. Whatever that means, I'll do it.
You don't know what siping means?
Give him
No,
a
I'm
trim.
not a tire guy.
Just give him
They
a
just
nice
put
little
it on
trim.
a wheel and like run a circular saw by it, and it puts extra.
Oh,
fillets
see,
in
yeah,
it.
that's my kind of
like
shit.
little like
That's a
like
100%.
kind of like anti paddles, like or negative space paddles.
All right. I can negative space that
Exactly.
thing for you.
Yeah.
I meant to say, you went to the comedy store.
I went to the comedy store.
Sick.
It was unbelievable.
I almost
it was a
went
dream
there
come true.
with J-Mac from the UK and a bunch of the guys.
You really
when
should.
They were over there and they didn't invite me.
You really should.
Yeah,
Buy tickets for the original room.
yeah for sure.
Buy it's $100 for like the stage seating.
Yeah, that's what you said. I'm
Unbelievable.
So into it.
Best $100 you could
This
ever
is an
possibly
open
spend.
offer to Jason Whipple. We talked about it like a month ago. We
You're
need to do
going?
it.
I'll fly there to go with you.
Oh, let's fucking go then.
Because it was unbelievable. It was
I
the
feel like
coolest thing.
Shane Gillis over here drinking as many beers as
Dude, I mean, he does like 15 on Rogan. We can keep this going if you want. The Protect Your Parks podcast.
There's only like
Protect Your Parks 3.
I
Yeah.
think there's only like 3 left in that fridge, but I'll do
Dude,
it.
we got someone who probably
Toby,
can't go
give me
to
a pocket knife.
Send them
Yeah.
out.
yeah, you definitely
Send
gotta go.
Toby down to the
Yeah.
packy kid.
We went to. So did you see Chappelle get tackled on stage?
No.
yeah.
Oh no, yeah,
At the
I wasn't there
at
for
the
that.
Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
We were there the night before.
Oh,
2
really?
nights before.
Yeah, it's it
But
was
yeah,
awesome.
We've still never been to the comedy store.
It was incredible. It was like as soon as you walk in, you're like, there's like a vibe, there's a feeling, there's a mood. Like
The buzz.
you see the names on the walls, you see the faces. Like it's
I need to
it's
do
really really special. And like everything here is just a certain level of shitty.
You know what we need to figure out is a collaboration with Two Bears One Cave racing
I was just listening to that podcast today.
because there's an opportunity to be had there. I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We put in a solid week's effort of tagging and trying to contact Two Bears One Racing to sponsor the car for the Mint.
Oh,
Never got anything back.
Yeah, but they're trying to sponsor their own team.
Yeah, but they need an off.
They got a BMW though.
Yeah, but they
They
need
got
off road.
BMW guy?
They need an off road section,
They do.
right?
We all do.
We're already a built-in.
Wheelpro's fucking
Right, we could-
off-road racing.
Yeah.
There's right there,
How you feel
A
about
lot of
68
things-
Beetles?
a lot of things could be plugged in.
Difficult bolt better.
Yeah, I would say it's a difficult one. Yeah. Not impossible.
Nothing's impossible.
That's
Nothing,
right. Nothing's
especially
possible.
especially in LA, baby.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd highly recommend going.
Well,
On that note,
Yeah.
we're gonna go save Toby.
Toby!
call an ambulance.
Oh, he's on his phone.
Oh, there he is.
Are you looking at breakfast?
What are you doing over there? What?
Oh,
Yeah.
I love you.
He's feeling better. Sam, again, thank you for coming to hang out.
Thank you guys.
I'm sure we could talk about a million things, and we'll just save the rest of that for next time. So,
Deal. Come on out. We can set this thing up in our living room.
oh, for sure, we can travel with this thing now. I think it makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back Wednesday. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. Box to the boys.
Grumpy.
I'm gonna play us out.
Don't forget about Toby's plight.
Play to the Toby.
Play the Tobias.
See ya.
I think he pooped himself. I'm honest.